Hey everyone, and welcome to Nerfcast. This is Shawn.
And this is Josh.
B.F.U's back for one more round.
And Mitchell for the first time.
Yes, indeed. Some of you may remember us putting up some of Mitchell's works on the blog and on Reddit. There was a lot of back and forth about the Nerf science of a dart hole. So,
That was so eloquent, Josh.
that's what it's called.
His mastery of the English language is astounding.
It is, yeah, you know.
Because Nerf darts have 2 holes.
Yeah. But one...
Mitchell, did you do the second hole?
Yes.
Good.
This was the correct answer.
I was about to say, if you answer incorrectly, you're going to have to leave. I'm so sorry.
I'm still here.
Your science is at least that good. All right, so let's get started. Josh, what are we starting on?
What are we starting? Well, let's do the same thing that we do with everybody that we have on the podcast for the first time. Mitchell, your Nerf origin story.
Okay, my Nerf origin story doesn't actually start with Nerf. It starts when I was very little at a family reunion in Montana.
Nice.
And my uncle took us outside, and he had a potato gun. And I've never been the same. Through high school, I built high-powered water guns. I got involved on a website called SS Central. It's run by Ben Treadle. He's another very avid Nerfer and Super Soaker guy. Does some very amazing stuff. He's working on his PhD in fluid mechanics right now.
Nice.
I actually sent the simulation to him, and he liked it.
Awesome.
And for those of you listening, water is a type of fluid, correct?
Yes, it is.
Oh, there you go. Just tying it in for you guys just in case.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think I started modding Nerf guns right in the middle of high school. So, about 2004 or so is when I got into Nerfing. So, yeah. And I've been doing it ever since.
What led to Nerf? I mean, how do you go from potato gun to Nerf, I guess?
I wanted a potato gun, and my parents were like, heck no. And they still are like, heck no. So I actually got started into making my own high-powered homemade water guns, and that escalated quickly. I accidentally knocked my little brother off of his bike once with water. My mom actually did tell me to do that. She didn't know it was going to knock him off his bike, but she was like, hey, go outside and, chill in the bushes and wait for him to ride by and then shoot him with your gun. And yeah, it was
Let's
all
compare
bad.
to right there. Son, I want you to go hide, and then when someone passes by, I want you to shoot them. It'll be hilarious. Make it family. That's even better.
I like my family. We get along well.
Oh.
Especially after shooting them off bikes. Wow.
Yeah, we still get along well, remarkably. So it just kind of escalated from there. I got into Super Soakers about, day late, dollar short.
Oh, darn.
Right as Super Soakers were kind of winding down, there was like kind of 1996 to about 2002.
Ooh, yep.
And that was the golden age of Super Soakers, and it's just been all downhill from there. So then I got into modding Nerf guns, and here I am.
Nice.
So let me ask you then, do you know how to build potato guns now?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you make a potato gun that shoots a Nerf football?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have one.
Yeah, they use those in
Okay,
airsoft
so
all the
we
time.
need pictures of this, and I really want this because to me, this is the ultimate rocket launcher that I want from Nerf, to run around with a potato gun and shoot people with footballs.
I have an air cannon that'll do that now.
Yes. BFU's looking at me right now. I'm not going to use this in a war. It would hurt. I just want a proof of concept. So if any other country is trying to attack us with Nerf weapons, we have the nuke.
That's
Yes,
right, we do.
That's right. Ji Young Gim, or whatever that dude's name is.
Young Gim.
Kim Jong-il the third.
Yes.
He's dead.
Him and Dennis Rodman.
Kim Jong-un.
Him and Dennis Rodman are going to attack us together with Nerf football blasters.
Right. Bruce Willis will save us.
Yeah, no, those blasters
No,
are
apparently
fun.
Sean's going to save us.
Yes. I've got the plan already.
And the beard.
I've
I've been hit by them. They're not too bad. Depends on a lot of things. But no.
So yeah, if you want me to bring that to a war sometime, I will.
I'm not sure I want you to bring it to a war.
Oh, I won't let you use it on people, but you could test it.
Oh no, if you bring it, I'll be tempted.
I've had it used on, well, not yours, but I've had them used on me in airsoft. Because we used to use them as mortars. So that you would just have a football flying through a window.
I'm in the wrong sport. I messed up.
So could you make an air gun that could shoot a midget?
Yes.
If I put a Nerf helmet on the midget, can I use him as a projectile? That's not even.
We're talking about me, aren't we?
No,
We're
but
talking about
now
me.
that you mention it.
This isn't Borderlands 2. We can't have everything.
If we do it, I'm dressing up as Cannonball.
I'm so sorry to any small people.
We can already just do the fastball special.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
much
true.
there.
Who's
Yeah.
throwing him?
Or Sean.
Nope.
Yep.
He ain't taking that many roids.
Oh, give him like a year.
Maybe Big Steve.
We also might get him bionic arms, so you know.
We're getting them closer and closer to the jacks.
If we get him bionic arms, can we make one longer than the other?
no,
Be like a Nerf
now
gorilla.
I just want to troll him while we give him cybernetics.
He already has his foam needle powers, so yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, so great origin story, Mitchell.
Yes, indeed.
Thank
Very
you.
good, much better than mine, where I just walked into the store and Josh was like, "Buy this Alpha Trooper," and I was like, "Okay."
Oh no, I was with it from the beginning. I went through the whole, hooray! They shoot 30 feet.
Yeah.
Technology.
God, I have a habit of coming into things just at the right time.
You did.
Yeah.
Like the Elite line when it launched, couldn't have asked for a better time to just come into Nerf.
Maybe that's why I'm not impressed with other stuff.
Honestly, I think I came in at the right time, Nerf, because I was just at the tail end of the original stuff that was shooting like 35 feet.
And
And
then
I'm
you
like,
s-
oh, this sucks. And then Elite comes, I'm like, oh, I can appreciate what's going on here.
Yeah, he got the appreciation without doing a ton of mod stuff
Yeah.
for years beforehand just to try and get it shoot
Yep.
30 or 40.
Anywho, we have a lot of news to cover today.
We do. There has been a ton of stuff that happened since our last podcast. First off, actually, we got our hands on the Magnus.
Oh,
Yeah.
Magnus.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, not the Megarodonmus Prime.
Yep,
Sorry.
nope.
We talked about this. No,
Sorry.
Nope, I'm going to make a Transformer one now. Rodimus Prime. It's going to be under BFU's Christmas tree. He's going to open it up and be sad.
is it going to be the deploy?
Foaminus
Because they're
Prime.
about as transformable and awesome.
Yes. And it has that big tail end to use as the Rodimus.
Sorry, that was my fault on that one.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay, so Magnus, gentlemen, what are your thoughts? Let's start with Mitchell because he's the guest.
I liked it. It reminds me a lot of the long shot that I made. For those of you who don't know, I minimized a long shot from a sniper rifle into this giant hand cannon pistol that fires dart tag darts.
it's awesome.
It is.
Yeah. I think Zach didn't like it when I hit him in the face with it, but
I wouldn't like get hit with a dart tag dart and a homemade modified blaster in the face either. That just comes with the territory.
to be fair, yeah, I agree with that. Since I'm already running something that seems so similar, it seems like a pretty good idea. The only problem is that it doesn't hold more than 3 darts yet, as I'm sure Chris is going to go into in just a minute.
Oh crap! Use my real name. No one knows me as Chris.
I'm sorry.
Internet's going to stalk you now.
Oh boy,
I'm sorry. Don't.
Don't apologize. He used my first and last name.
I did.
Well,
Joshua, Jebediah, Ezekiel.
He was like, his Facebook
Schofield.
page is...
so
His Snapchat information is, ladies.
yeah. So because I'm already running something similar and have run it as a primary pretty successfully, seems like it could work pretty well.
I liked it. So Sean's looking at me like, "You're next." So yeah, I definitely needs the Southern Brisbane Nerf mod with the clip.
Yeah.
And that's right. I don't care if anyone else did it first. I'm saying it's his first because he put it on the webs.
He put it on the
Chumps.
inner butts. It's true.
It definitely needs that 6 darts. I felt like of all the shots that were fired before I went on vacation on my honeymoon, and then after I got back with you guys today, felt like 4 out of the 6 were straight every time we fired 6. Felt like 2 went, sideways, but some of my darts have been through a Mega Centurion, and I cannot vouch for the solidarity. That's not even right.
Let's just face it, the Centurion is hard on things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't vouch for how good the darts are.
No one dark can have all that power.
One gun to rule them all.
Yes.
So I like it. I think it fired when it fired straight. It was really straight. It wasn't like we drifted a foot to the right straight. It was like a nice little whoop, little rainbow, right?
It was on a rope, basically.
Frozen rope. I wouldn't call it a laser, but I would say it was on a frozen rope. So pretty impressive. I'm really happy with it. I love the size of it, except the handle. The handle's small. It's weird.
Okay, that's it. Josh, what are your thoughts on it? Because Josh is a smaller gentleman, so let's see if he thinks the handle is too small.
I mean, it didn't feel small for me, but it did feel small, even compared to the Hammer Shot. It has a much larger handle. Like I said, it wasn't a big deal for me, but I can see how some people with larger hands would have a bit of a problem. It does seem like it's a smaller handle than you would expect on a blaster that large. Other than that, I actually liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I originally just was like, yeah, 3 shots, but it's pretty fun. It's an interesting, just different way to prime, it's something new. And I applaud Hasbro and Nerf for trying something different and trying to make something out of what was pretty much a huge failure at the launch of the Mega line. So, it was good.
Okay.
It was good. I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I like it too. I'll be honest with you. I think $15 is the exact right price point.
Yep.
I think it's more than fair because going in, I expected a 25, maybe 20 on the low end.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to come in at $15. At Amazon and Target prices. Toys R Us still pending. But
True.
$15 to me is the perfect price. I feel like Hasbro looked at this, took a look at some of their other sidearm blasters like the Hammer Shot, the Sweet Revenge, and we're like, hey, this is clearly not going to be a primary. We want the Mega Centurion to be our primary. Spend all the money on that one. And then once you use it, hopefully you like it enough, and we'll go out and buy a Magnus. Now, I think the thing is right now, none of us, well, maybe one of us, still likes the Mega Centurion.
Whatevs. I you know what? I'm a hopeful human being. Very positive. And that one wonderful night with Mr. Josh was fantastic.
It was.
It was a beautiful night that Josh and B.F.U shared.
Oh, what a night.
The magic will never be recreated.
Some people wait.
The stars aligned. It was beautiful.
Like this.
I mean, so yeah, I agree, Shawn. You're welcome. I'm glad that I emailed Hasbro and told them to make it $5 cheaper.
Yes, I'm happy we had that podcast because I feel like Hasbro looked at it as like everything is $5 cheaper for Josh. Make it happen. He buys all this stuff. It's true. Josh is like the provider for our community. When we're all at work, Josh has a job that has him very mobile. He's able to get around. So we'll be like, Josh, something came out at Target and it might be in the stores. Can you go and buy all of them? Josh, the Rapid Strike just launched. Can you go buy 15 for us? Josh, they're Alpha Troopers. Go get 25 of them.
That is true.
So Josh
I do try. I hit all of the stores from like SF down to
I'm just glad he's on our team.
South San Jose. And then when I'm in the East Bay, I hit those. And then Ryan gets mad, like, stay out of my Targets and Toys R Us's.
Yeah, it's kind of territorial here, like wrestling back in the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
Right? And Josh is the Vince McMahon of Nerf.
Oh, God. That's because I came dressed kind of nice from work. I see how it is.
Pretty much.
It was me, B.F.U. It was me all along. But yeah, I feel that way with like 3 of my Targets. There's like 2 right next to my work, and I call dibs on those and the Sunnyvale one. Josh, you can have the Oak Ridge one.
Well, I'm right next to it, so I check it all the time.
Yeah, so I give you that one. That is my gift to you.
Why, thank you. I did also used to work there, so I feel like it was mine a long time ago.
You've earned everything that store can give you.
But
yeah, the biggest thing we want to talk about though with the Magnus, which we noticed just like 5 minutes before the podcast, we're messing around with it, doing some range tests with some other things that we'll get into later on the podcast. We've talked about this before. Dart pushing.
Yep.
Dart pushing is the secret Kaji no Bishinu technique of Nerf, whatever they call it in Naruto. I don't speak Japanese.
That is straight witchery.
It is the Bankai. It is a level beyond normal blasting where basically you just kind of thrust your arm a little bit when you're firing the blaster and it shoots the dart further. I saw people like nodding and shaking their heads.
You know what? I'm glad we have science on the podcast. Explain this witchery, please. Mitchel.
No. Let me finish my point, then he can space.
I thought you were done. Sorry.
No, he can explain his religion of science. I will tell you my religion of magic, where things just work because your chakras align properly when you're throwing it. But yeah, ranges are really good with this thing when you dart push it.
Disgustingly good.
Mm-hmm. Disgustingly good. Like before, you're getting pretty much elite ranges where a lot of people are like, why get this blaster over a Retaliator or another hand pistol Nerf blaster?
And I say it stays straighter.
It stays straighter because the dart's a little bit heavier. I feel like when you're firing it even, I don't know if it's because it's a bigger blaster or how it's designed, but I feel like when you're dart pushing, you can lose a little bit of control if you're not perfect at it. This, I think all of us used it, dart pushed it, and we were still shooting pretty straight with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't even believe in dart pushing. Mm-hmm. Like, I still think it's witchery.
And that's why it doesn't work perfectly for you.
No,
Josh and me will go into games and dart push, and we will be like mobile snipers with
I've
it.
dart pushed in games. I know it works. I just don't want to. It's just one of those things where I see it. I just don't believe it. I categorically deny it's a real thing.
You gotta charge your chi. And
I've
then
dart
you yell,
pushed.
"Kame."
I understand the extra range and it doesn't seem like it should work that well.
Okay, Mitchell, can you explain why this works?
I kind of agree with Chris that it shouldn't work as well as people see it doing.
So magic.
Magic. Yes. Don't celebrate yet, Sean.
The Denny Rand of dart pushing.
So any extra velocity that you add to the dart before it exits the barrel, it's going to carry with it. So that's why you're going to see the extra range from doing this. I have no idea why it's adding like 25 plus feet onto the range of the Magnus.
Yeah, because the last couple Magnus pushes were really far.
They were ridiculous, and I was kind of like, okay.
And they were pretty straight too. So the scary part is dart pushing. I've pushed darts; they go really far, but
You're gonna
it's still a Nerf dart, so it's all over the place.
yeah.
This thing was like a nice little bomb.
It's
Yeah.
because you believe in the mega line, BFU. This is why it worked. You have to believe. It's about faith.
I think it could be because the Magnus is such a big, heavy blaster that you're gonna have a lot more control, like when you thrust it and stuff like that.
Yeah, because when you're in the windup, your momentum's being
Yeah.
carried with the weight a little bit more.
Yeah.
Lighter blasters or longer blasters, your arm might go a little bit goofy when you're trying to get that shot
Exactly.
straight.
So I think that's why the Magnus works so well with it. Plus, the dart's bigger, so it's going to and significantly heavier. As I haven't taken any weights on the mega darts yet, but
It is actually 2 pounds lighter than an elite dart. True story.
2 pounds lighter.
2 pounds.
Wow.
I checked.
So you've got some negative mass going on there, Sean.
I'm telling you, magic and Nerf. I
feel
don't
like we're
claim
gonna
to
create a-
understand the technical parts. You just need to believe.
I feel like this
I will be the Doctor Strange of Nerf.
this podcast is going to devolve into tachyon and black holes.
By the eye of Agamotto.
That's actually how I got my long shot to work.
By dividing by 0.
Q, why have you forsaken me?
He forsakes everyone.
I was watching so much Next Gen this week while you were gone. You don't even know.
So here's a question for you guys, if you got a second.
Yeah.
I do.
Are you guys going to start stocking a pool of mega darts for your community?
Ooh.
That's a
Not
tough
at the
question.
price of mega darts.
By stocking a pool, you mean using mine, because I'm the one with the massive quantity of mega darts, which is like 30.
I was going to say it's a massive quantity. It's like
Yeah.
under 50.
Yeah, no.
Don't think so. So
don't
it's
think
going to be
so.
a while before we see a community pool.
Just to put this in
Yeah.
perspective, the reason why we went with the community pool with the elite darts is
'cause they're
when we first
very
got
cheap.
started, they're the most common darts. They work really well. They work way better than the orange ones. Some of our players
I
don't
hate
use those.
streamlines.
Paul, I know you're listening right now. I know you want to preserve those darts and use them until they wear out, but I see them on the field and weep a little bit every time.
Let Lingy live.
I know he's happy and he's laughing right now. I can hear him,
Let him
from
live.
the future with my magic powers. But anywho, so we just started collecting elite darts, and it got to the point where Josh and I had so many that we're like, why don't we just let people use these, and then they just all bring them back at the end of the day? It just seems easier than having
it
that
makes a ton more
source at
sense.
the end.
Yeah.
So that said, we got a lot of good sales. A lot of good sales. I was talking about like a sale I got at Target where basically the 75 pack was down to like $17.99.
Oh, yeah.
And then they had a $5 off coupon too, so it was like $12
For 75 darts,
13
which is
actually.
ridiculous.
And then we found, eBay.
This was before eBay. I bought 300 darts. No, more than that. It was more like
We've spent $500 or $600 a piece on darts.
yep.
Plus donations, what everyone donated to.
Right, exactly. People
yeah.
are like, oh, well, I donated a lot of darts. I'm like, yeah, I spent $500 just on darts.
Yeah.
I think every game that I've come to, I've left with significantly less darts than I came there with.
Right. And I mean, we don't mind. It's just when people are like, yeah, I donated a 75 pack. That should be good for like a long time. Like, nah. That's why we stopped doing donations. Because a 75 pack seems like a lot. But
But that
at
doesn't.
the end of the day, it's not a lot at all.
No, I think the $2 you guys charge is
Reasonable.
more than reasonable for the amount of darts we go through.
If you figure how much $2 gets you in darts, it's like, what, a 12 pack? Less than a 12 pack. It's like a,
Yeah.
do they even have a 6
you get
pack?
like a 3-pack or
Over
4-pack.
over a season, the $2 per person is equivalent to about a 75 pack.
Right. But then
That's-
we buy them and get
No,
them
that's
in
what I'm
bulk
saying.
and cheap.
Like,
So
That-
exactly, everybody
people are using.
wins.
People probably burns through more. You show up to every Nerf game, that you guys do, I'm sure I've burned through more than 75 darts.
Yeah, there's dart erosion. It just happens. You're going to lose darts on ceilings, now gutters, getting
And
stepped
they're
on,
consumable. They're just going to wear out.
Exactly.
Rip him in half of rage. I mean,
Yeah.
Or Josh eats them.
Yeah, I only eat the ones now that are messed up
that's
already.
disgusting.
My thing.
Getting back on target though, honestly, like with the vortex blasters, we modified the rules for vortex blasters at our games to allow ricochets to count to try and encourage people to use the vortex line. There still wasn't enough interest really in those, so creating a pool at that point didn't make sense.
But if there's a huge interest for Magnus, would you guys consider making a pool of community?
I feel like if it would have to be a big number, because right now all of our players, 99% I'll say, just to cover my bases, are using elite streamlines.
That's for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got a couple who are using taggers, or a couple who do, like Paul, I was just talking about. He uses the vortex as a backup because we have that ricochet roll. He covers his bases.
Yeah, and with the vortex, I brought most of it.
Yeah. Well,
And between me and Shawn, and Josh threw some in, but we brought, I know Zach might have kicked some in too, but we brought 500 discs.
Dang.
it was a lot, and they aren't really
We
getting
did
used.
Vortex Day.
So I feel like if the Magnus got to a scale where maybe close to like 50% of our players were consistently bringing them, then maybe
You got to go down in price, or someone in China's
Yeah.
got
Oh, yeah, we
China,
would-
get on this.
it would have to be like if there's a good deal at the same time too.
Right. The other thing is too, you can't buy them in the high quantity.
Yeah.
So you're stuck buying 10.
Right.
So even if you took the best deal out right now, which is Target's buy one get one half off,
Yeah.
you're still not getting that many darts. It's building up the. There have to be more mega blasters.
right.
Keep
I
in
think we
mind,
just have
we'd
to
be
wait.
using a blaster that has a max cap stock 3 darts. So people wouldn't need wouldn't be using as many darts unless they're stupid and just like blow their dart load super quickly, or B,
Premature adulteration.
yes.
Wow.
Or
I
they're
feel like it's just going to
conserve
happen.
and take less shots, and then they don't need as much ammo.
Well, I feel like that's the thing with having a community pool of darts is you just expect people to just burn through them because they tend to.
Well, because it's not their stuff, so they don't care.
And
Right.
megas aren't as durable.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the
we've
other
already talked about adjusting the rules in the future because we started out with dart donations or monetary donations to use darts, and then it became just monetary because the donations were sort of flim-flam all over the place for what got you a day's worth of play. And then now we're like, well, you just walk in and grab like handfuls and handfuls and handfuls and fill up a backpack, and there's no darts left for anybody else. So there's got to be some balancing acts going on with like what you get, what your $2 actually gets you, like
No bigger than a single official Nerf dart pouch.
something like that. Yeah, I mean we'll have it all figured out by next year, like how much you can pick up at any given time on field, so that there's enough to go around.
Yeah. So in short, right now, no.
Yeah, probably not.
I feel like the Magnus, even though it's we all agree it's a good blaster, I'm probably going to use it as my secondary. I'll switch between that and the hammer shot.
Yeah, that's the other problem. Is if it was the best secondary on the market,
Yeah.
it's great, but good Old Faithful.
Yeah.
And then Old Faithful, the last pistol before it.
But BFU, you know better than anyone. All you need is one person to make it cool. Then everyone goes out and buys the same blaster. How many people bought hammer shots after you were praising how good the hammer shot
Yeah,
was?
but the other thing is
one right here.
Yeah, but the hammer shot is an amazing. We're not
is.
even. We've done this in every podcast.
Yeah.
it is the best sidearm out right now. It's the best pistol. I know. I'm sorry, Reddit. I'll get to you later. It's the best pistol out. It's the most universally loved pistol out. So the Magnus won't be that. The three darts is going to kill people already. I mean, to get 6, you're going to have to do a really hard clip mod, which, I do enough mods to not be afraid of stuff. I'm a little nervous about it. I'm like, he made it seem easy. Southern Brisbane Nerf.
Yep.
Made it seem easy, but still, I could see it being a little difficult. Plus, you're giving up a Centurion clip.
Yeah.
So you're talking about turning the Magnus. So it's a $14.99 blaster. You want to make it 6 rounds. Now it's a $54.99 blaster because of that $40 you just spent on a Centurion just for the clip.
And if you didn't get the Centurion at Costco and get the extra clip, then you have a Centurion that's clipless because you can't buy them
That you
separately.
give to Mitchell to do something with. Oh, what? Did that just happen?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Darn it, now we're going to have to do it.
So, yeah, I mean, hopefully people will show up with it so then I can trade ammo. If not, me and Sean are automatically designated opposite teamsies.
Yep.
So we can trade ammo. Plus,
Big
if
gun
someone,
versus small gun.
if someone steps on my mega darts, I'm going to be pissed.
That's the other thing that's going to happen.
There goes 10% of our ammo
Oh, my
supply.
God. They're so... They're just. But the ones. So the one thing we didn't talk about the Magnus. The darts are definitely denser than the Centurion dart. So I pulled out new. So when I got it, I did the right thing. I didn't mark them, which was the really right thing.
Yes.
But I did pull new Mega Darts that I haven't fired yet from a 10-pack.
Right.
And played with them next to the...
No.
The
Not
gesture
viable.
you're making right now.
Not viable. Well, first off, he looks
Feels
kind of like Zoidberg.
They feel denser.
So,
But we didn't
here's
measure them,
my-
right?
No. I would just say that I would wait and I would want to have new darts from each, like pull them fresh out of the package because we've fired all of the Centurion darts.
No, not the 10-pack I got.
Yeah, he got a new 10-pack.
I had a new 10-pack.
Oh, a new 10-pack of
Yeah.
darts. I
No,
thought you
had
meant
a
your
new-
old.
Nope. Oh, no. Those were dead.
Gotcha.
So it was my second 10-pack of Centurion
Okay.
darts. That's why I have a lot. So second 10-pack of Centurions, there were still some that were... There were a lot... The whole 10-pack was fired. I played with them next to each other. I mean, it's not like... You'd have to be looking for it
Right.
to feel it, but it's definitely a little better. And also I've noticed on the older Centurion darts, the glue that holds the top on gets corroded really fast and starts like peeling off.
Out. Okay.
The new darts, and I've been firing them. I don't know if you fired any while I was gone. Sean fired them a little bit. They haven't corroded yet. They still look brand new. So there are small differences in that. But I'm not going to go say they won't. The Centurion will still break them.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, too. You got to keep in mind the Magnus is a different design, so it's just not eating up darts the same way.
Right.
So it might not even be the durability of the darts
Might
are
not.
better. It's just the blaster isn't killing them like the Centurion would.
Very
Right.
true.
So, I mean, I'll have to see. I have to look for dark designation. I'll have to do that later to see. I think it would have came out by now if there were different serial codes on them or something.
I'm sure there are.
Oh, the T
usually-
versus J and all that at the end of the
Versus K.
dart. Versus
Really,
yeah.
Nerf? Come on,
Hey.
guys.
Men in
Just
Black.
Yeah.
Fix it.
I mean,
But
whatever.
good blaster, solid. It'll be fun second sidearm. I think it's going to be accurate at 50 feet, which is all I care about. 50 feet and in.
Josh, what other news we got?
There's not a ton. Well, there is a ton, but there's
There
not.
is.
So,
Liar.
so the zombie strike stuff. Because really, what are you going to say about the zombie strike stuff that just came out? The crossbow, which is the crossfire bow, and the side strike.
I think this is the third podcast we talked
We've
about
talked
it.
about it,
Never
but we
got the
don't.
name right.
I was going to say crossfire. It's crossfire bow.
I know, but didn't we not?
And
Didn't we
side-
forget
last
one?
time I just said the crossbow and the single shot thing because I didn't want to remember what it was. But they've actually been popping up in stores. That's really the news that they've been popping up in stores. We haven't played with them, so we can't really make any assessments.
Griffin Mods did a good review of the single shot, the side strike.
Yeah, it comes with a holster.
That works both ways.
Yes,
That's awesome.
Which is awesome.
That's
Yeah,
nice. They made
good
it,
for
and it
lefties.
works on the fire strike.
Oh, nice.
So they figured out the holster works on the fire strike really well.
Correct.
So that's cool.
Yep.
And then they threw the blaster behind them and said, "This is crap."
Yeah. I mean, it's a single shot blaster.
Yeah.
Fire strike's sort of already around. I don't see what.
Is it me or do I feel like single shot blasters are kind of like if you're not making your own that fire 200 FPS?
Right.
Hey, why are you looking at me? Just because I do things.
I don't see the. I mean, I just don't see the point of the single shot blast. I mean, maybe I just missed the golden age of single shot blasters.
I
or
think
something.
it's Zombie Strike, really popular, doing well. They knew they wanted to do stuff. Obviously, the line itself is not exclusive to Target, so they just had to give something to other people. And they always want to bring out a new product just for the Target demographic to buy. So 6-year-olds with a single shot blaster,
Hey.
$5 or $10. Parents are like, yeah, I'm buying you that, and not a Centurion.
Let's keep in mind, this is perpetual play for some of the Zombie Strike stuff. Did come out with a pouch, the pack, and then the Zombie Strike pack. So literally,
No.
they're just like, come out with anything, throw zombie on it, we're good.
I don't even mean zombies, just single shot blasters. It feels like I don't feel they have a purpose anymore.
Okay, let me interrupt you real quick on this, and I'll let you go, Mitchell. Okay. We have him tied up right now, so I mean, like, actually free him. But if you look at some of the single shot pistols in our games, they actually feel more accurate sometimes. Like, I'll be honest, just the way that they're front loading blasters, they just shoot out. I've seen people run jolts and triads and fire strikes and just run around in our games as fast as they can shooting people, and it works.
So it's funny. Josh's brothers do that. And then I gave one of them a bigger gun, and he was kicking even more butt with the bigger gun. Just took him a minute to get used to it. He ran around with a Rebel gun and did the same thing. They're shooting from like 10 feet because they're so fast. I missed the golden age of single shot blasters.
You really did.
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that they made a lot more sense back when the N-Strike line was the big thing, and everything else was going 35 feet, and those were going 40. It made a lot more sense then. Plus the mod potential. It was so much easier to take a Night Finder and just put like a CPVC barrel on it.
Yup.
And I could make that thing shoot 100 feet fairly accurately with ridiculous springs.
Put
and
that in
stuff.
perspective, B, if you remember Josh's Panther. It was
No,
like that.
I have a Panther. I get it, but I don't know. Like now, I don't see the.
Yeah, so those came out. The crossbow, I think we already knew before this, wasn't going to shoot 2 darts at once. It shoots, there's 4 up and down.
I was sad about that. I wanted a skinny rough cut.
Yeah.
I'm not sad about that.
So I think it's like a double-edged sword because it would have been kind of cool, but it also would have only given you 2 shots, which would have kind of sucked.
But I was just going to integrate it into the front of the gun anyway, so...
Right, that's what I was thinking. It would be really cool for integrations.
Oh, yeah. Just a couple of quick shotguns.
And just make it an underbarrel prime, you're good.
Yep, slide
Yeah.
down would have made that thing awesome.
so
Yeah.
weird. I'm so negative on stuff today. I'm so mad they didn't make an underbarrel prime.
Oh, no, I mean, I am too.
Like that's.
But,
It makes sense that they didn't, but I'm kind of angry about it.
right.
Because they wanted it to be a crossbow.
It could have been a crossbow with an underbarrel prime.
I
that would
agree.
make it like. Do you how much more extensively more awesome that would make it?
I don't
more,
That's what I was saying. There's not a lot
Yeah.
to talk about in news. I was like, the crossbow,
the badassery is.
It's like, okay.
no.
If we saw it and we got to
have
talk about
other
it.
stuff besides this.
Target. The Target pack. Oh, yeah. You guys didn't even know I was going to bust that out. Huh?
Actually, I saw your phone, so I knew this was going to be the next subject.
Yeah, I don't even... Perpetual Play has like a little... It has a pack, and I can't give you the actual dimensions on it. But in the center, it has like a little cog-looking thing. I have it on my phone so people can see it here.
Gears of War.
I'll try to put on
Awesome.
put a link up to it with a hole in it so you can shoot into it. I don't know if that's just for people that like playing Defend the Core or Offend the Core. Or whatever. But you're also supposed to put your blasters in it so that you can carry it. You can store it, carry it, and then make a target that you can shoot into.
I think it's just.
And Sean is laughing because he's remembering Bano. You're remembering Offend the Core.
No, Bano is other stuff. No, I'm laughing because if it is designed to carry stuff, you put a giant hole in your carrying case.
So it's not a giant hole, it's a slit.
So I'm thinking it's for unloading your blaster at the end of the day. That's what I saw it as.
Kind of nice.
I just thought that's what I really saw it as.
Well, I mean,
I'm just
it's-
gonna unload my blaster at the end of the day.
It's called the Target Pack, PAK, everything they
So
have
it's
is
dual
on
use.
PAK.
You put some stuff in it. You can use it as a target.
Okay.
The dark,
I mean, it
the
actually
dark goes
says-
inside. You
It
get to
says
hit-
that it stores up to 200 darts, so I don't know if they mean in
Yeah, 'cause
magazines
darts
or
don't fall out
not.
of holes.
So I
Never.
don't,
They wouldn't.
and that's the little one, right? Not the big boy.
correct. Let's see. I'm reading all the. Let's see. It stores up to 26 round ammo clips, and you know.
So 10, 12s.
So
Yeah.
basically, if you want to have all your darts and stuff together, don't empty them out of the mags, it's saying. Because if you just put the darts in there, they're going to fall out of the hole.
But seriously, empty your darts out of your magazines because it will wreck them.
It will
Yes.
wreck the darts.
Yeah,
the-
I'm
other
still
one that
learning
Perpetual
that.
Play brought out was the Footlocker.
Oh, can I get some Jordans?
Yes, you can.
Is that where the kids buy the Jordans? I want the kind you pump up.
It has the same thing going on with it. It's a little bit bigger. It's sort of a big rectangle. It's exactly what a Footlocker would sound like. It looks like a collapsible toy chest.
Or collapsible.
These are just made out of that same material that the other like packs PAKs are made out of, and the what was it? The sleeve, whatever it's called. Same material. One of them, the big one, actually collapses down. Has the same target on it, so you can shoot into it. I don't know
Oh, fantastic.
why
bigger
it's a
hole.
thing. Yeah, it's like the same exact thing. And
Hold up. Do the mini cogs have holes in them too, or just the big cog?
just
in
a
the
really
middle?
big cog in the middle.
Okay.
So
And it holds up to 3 large blasters, quote
Can I
unquote.
go first?
Yes, you can go first.
I love you, Perpetual Play. That's awesome.
I'm not saying it's not awesome.
I know.
Playing it
It's
online.
awesome. That makes me positive again. They got a bag for everything.
They do
They're
a
like
bag for
the
everything.
coach of Nerf.
They got a pocket full of sunshine. They gotta get.
I wanted them to be the Prada of Nerf.
No, not
That'd be
really,
a thing?
Sean. No, not at all.
I mean, darts are like sunshine.
Oh,
No, Josh.
So
the devil
yeah,
wears Prada.
I like how Mitchell said no, Josh, and looked at me. He got in trouble, not me. Whoop, whoop.
I like the Foot Locker. I like the smaller bag too. But you guys know I love the Perpetual Play bags.
no, I know. I mean,
I'm
I think it's a
super
cool
into
idea.
them.
There's nothing else like it out right now.
Yep.
I would prefer they didn't have the little hole in it, just because it's on the side. It's not like it's on the top,
Yeah, you feel like stuff might fall
so
out.
it feels like stuff might fall out.
I didn't
but
even think of that.
you know,
But I mean, for what I would use
Sean
it
doesn't have
for,
opinions.
I mean, I roll big stuff into the Nerf games, and I'm trying to figure out how to cut that down. Plus, I just like branded
so
stuff like that.
or you could just bring like a couple of blasters instead of like 30.
No,
But you
that is
need
not an
30.
option.
Hold on. First
He
of all,
only ever uses 2.
no, that's not true. First of all, a lot of times I bring stuff I make.
Yes,
Okay, so that's like 3 blasters every other game. Between now,
that's
I
like
paint.
that's like 1 blaster per game.
No, that's not true. I've come with more than one.
1.5, Josh.
So I
When I was underbarreling, I was come with more.
I
than one.
very distinctly remember you being like, I've brought 1 mod to every game. I need to figure out what next mod's going to be, Josh. What am I going to do? I'm so nervous.
Yeah, that's true.
Put pressure on myself.
That's true. I did say that.
It's like how Josh and I were season 1 with game ties. We need to come up with a new game today.
And then I stopped doing that, and no one cared, so it was awesome.
Yes.
And then the BioShot happened.
Bioshock happened. Then
Which
everyone
I
was like,
still love, by the way.
then everybody was like, stop bringing blasters to games.
Stop doing the things that make you happy, BFU.
No, because then I brought the Air Max 10, and everybody was happy with that.
Yeah.
That was good.
But you didn't make an Air Max 10. You
No,
just
but
bought
I
it.
put a buttstock on it.
You did put a butt stuck
You
on
did
it.
put a buttstock on it.
Which was awesome.
I think they were pleased with the Air Max 10 performance. I like the buttstock. Don't get
I do
twisted,
like the
but
buttstock.
Josh just likes things that flip.
the buttstock doesn't flip.
I thought he
Sunset.
used the Herf Derp on it. The,
No, it's the
one-
stockade stock.
Oh, it's the stockade?
So you can hold the extra darts in the back.
The Herp.
Herf Derp.
Oh, God.
So I like them. I think they're awesome. And you're right, I don't have to bring 30 blasters every game. But you know what? If I spent that much money, I can do what I want.
I only speak from experience because me and Shawn used to bring the entire arsenal every
But if
game.
you had Rolling Thunder, it would have been easier.
No, yeah, but I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I was using
anymore.
army duffel bags, 1 in each hand.
Yeah,
I
that's
remember
too much work. I got stuff on wheels, baby.
It doesn't. I still wouldn't do it.
I like the fact that the chest is collapsible.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Reminds me of an Ottoman. It can double as an Ottoman full of Nerf guns.
Yes.
That way, when you empty out all your blasters onto the table, you can collapse it down and save on space.
Yeah.
I wonder if my wife will let him around the house so I can clean up. Probably not. I don't think she'll do digital camos decor.
Yeah, you know.
Mitchell, what do you think of the perpetual play packs?
I like the bags. I'm going to have to get one and try it out for myself because right now my transportation for most of my guns, except for the ones with delicate barrels, is a laundry bag with some sort of feminine flowery design on it, which I'm not particularly happy about. But
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah,
right.
My mom picked it out. I'm not gonna complain about it. So yeah, I'll look into it. I think it makes a lot of sense for them to make bags to carry your stuff in that's branded Nerf,
Agreed.
because there's obviously a market for that for people like us who go to games and with 20, 30 guns. I am right there with Chris. BFU.
It's fine. Chris is fine.
Okay.
You can go with my last name. You can go with Ferone. Start calling me Ferone. That'll work.
Facebook
Everyone else calls
is-
me
No, only I call you that.
Ferone.
Yes, nobody else
My wife
in the
calls-
Nerf community.
my wife calls me
No,
Fro,
Nerf community.
Oh.
Nobody else in the Nerf community calls
Okay, I
you
was
Fro.
about to say,
No one in
I've
the
seen
Nerf
them at
community
work.
knows who I am.
No, she's BFU.
Yep.
It's true.
Yeah, well, now
Anyway.
that you have that new Reddit name, people are going to spot you a lot easier.
Exactly.
Yes.
She doesn't have a new Reddit name. We just made that up.
Don't tell them what the old one is. I like to troll myself.
Yes. Imagine BFU in a room just
That
having an
makes
argument
sense
about
why you
Nerf
were doing
blasters. Bioshot is crap. It's awesome. Crap. Awesome.
You're gonna be like Kevin Smith when he was protesting his own movie.
Yes. I may have done that already on a different website. I'm sorry.
That was so good.
So my thoughts on the perpetual play bags.
So anyway, other new. No.
I swear to God, I will come at you, Josh, with the might of 1,000 suns.
Children's show. Children's show. No.
Might of 1,000
no,
suns?
No blanking at anybody.
Okay.
Keep it in your shorts.
Sploosh.
I don't think he was referring to it like that.
Oh.
That's not how I heard it.
Yeah, Josh just connected. He's like, oh. Anywho, I like them. I am down for this idea because I feel like they're hitting 2 key demographics. One, like we discussed, players who have like 30 blasters, hardcore players who are actually going out and fighting in Nerf wars. Very nice for them. Also, the first thing I thought of when I actually saw their big pack, it reminded me of a kid's toy chest.
Yep.
Like the kind of at the end of the day, it's like, okay, Billy, go put all your Nerf guns in the little boxy thingy. And Billy's like, okay, Mom. And so he picks up all the stuff and puts it in there. So that's, to me, how I imagine kids are going to use that. That's what they're going to use as a toy box. And it's collapsible, so if they have to like move it around or take it anywhere, they can. Awesome. Also, older people, like I said, we have a bunch of stuff to carry around.
Yeah.
My one problem is honestly the hole. the hole just seems like it can be a burden for a lot of the blasters. I can imagine handles coming out, seeing a rampage halfway through the hole and out inside the box. And Billy's gonna be like, "Look at that! That looks funny. Explain that to me, mommy." Like, no, Billy, I'm gonna buy you a Centurion now.
See, but we have duct tape, so
Yeah.
therefore we are.
I mean, to be fair, we could start this out with duct tape and make something out of duct tape. But once again, props to Perpetual Play. I just like that they are looking out at what the community needs. Like, what's something cheap and useful? And just get it out there.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't opened either of them up, but the Foot Locker, the package for it looks to be about, I think it was like 2 feet, around 2 feet by like 1.5 feet, something like that. It didn't actually have the dimensions on it. I was just judging by the actual box it came in, because I figured it couldn't be bigger than that, unless it's really folded up. And it's like $25, I think. Mm-hmm. And the smaller pack was $14.99, $15. So yeah, good job, Perpetual Play. Mm-hmm. Good job again.
Good on you, mate.
You doing stuff. So, should we move on to sort of the big Nerf news? Everybody was, we don't have to. It's cool.
No.
Nobody even looked at me. I was like, oh.
There's 2 pieces of Nerf news I think we can discuss. I'm kind of wondering what you think is the big one.
Well, the Elite Vulcan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will give you that's bigger than our other
The
piece
Havoc.
of news.
I'm so excited
Physically.
for the Havoc Vulcan.
So apparently the Vulcan was called the Havoc. The original Vulcan was called the Havoc overseas.
Interesting. Didn't know
So
that one.
I don't know if this is going to be called the Havoc Vulcan or if it was just Havoc/Vulcan.
And then they
Maybe
come out with a hammerhead pistol to go with it.
maybe we'll get the Havoc here in the States, and everybody else will get the Vulcan.
Very possible.
Mix it up. Make it seem like it's a different blaster.
Exactly.
Like the Roto Slam 360.
Which is still the most awesome name for a blaster ever.
It is. Until next generation, they come out with the Roto Slam 1.
Actually, that's like Southern Brisbane Nerf Club put up what the Hammer Shop was supposed to be beforehand. They had a different name for it. It was like the something 5.
The Hammer 5.
Hammer 5. There we
Yes.
go.
Which that
And it
works
looked
for me.
very different.
It
Yes,
also
did.
sounds like a name of like a Saturday morning cartoon starring MC Hammer and his 4 disciples of
They were
hip-hop.
magic shoes,
The Hammer
Yes.
5.
just so you know.
No, he teams up with the Harlem Globetrotters and do that little hand-holding thing and magic powers.
Yes.
I wish
Cartoons
I
were weird
wish
as
I
a
had
kid.
a Havoc right now. I would unload the entire belt into Shawn.
With the might of 1,000 suns.
So yes, feel free to discuss thoughts, ideas, speculations on the potential of the Elite Vulcan.
I'm down. I mean, I'm excited about this. I know a lot of people who just love the aesthetics of the Vulcan. It looks great. It carries really fun. It's a very interesting design. It feels very... What's a good way to describe this? Mechanical. It feels
like
like
a
there's a
machine
lot of
gun.
moving parts like you would see in a real gun.
Things are happening.
Yes. And once again, the aesthetics. I have at least 2 people I know of right now who absolutely love the Vulcan. It's kind of what got them really juiced on Nerf. So I know, like, as soon as we posted the news about it, they commented right away, and they were in love with it. And, I mean, the only question to me is, I love the paint job. Obviously, I like the design. I'm interested on the ranges to see if there is any improvement. And I guess the other corollary to that is the internals. Obviously, with the Rapid Strike, it was kind of like a newer version of the Stampede. It was kind of like the successor to the Stampede.
Think they went full flywheel.
Exactly. So they went full flywheel when it used to be electronic plunger system for the Stampede. So they changed around the Eternals to get that higher range. So the question I have for you guys is, do you think they'll change the internals of the Vulcan to a flywheel design as well to accommodate
I don't
longer
think so.
distances?
Why?
My vote is no.
No, you don't think they did?
I don't think that they did.
Because the same shell.
Not even because it's the same shell, but just because it seems like you could people have already been modding Vulcans and getting better ranges, so I don't see why they wouldn't just give it the elite treatment like they did with everything else. Put in direct plunger, make the spring better, and flywheels, you'd have to have a dart pusher come through the belt, be able to push the dart, and they're using elite darts now, instead of last time it came with whistlers. So
was awesome.
they'd have to modify all the belts. There's just a lot of kind of stuff that I think it'd be more difficult, and then they'd also have to find a place to put flywheels and yada yada, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. I'm with Josh on that one. I don't think they're going to change it. Plus, you've seen the internals of the power bell. It shoots Elite range is just fine with electrical
It
plunger
does.
system.
I mean, you hear every single shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they just probably updated the plunger. The other one was reverse, wasn't it?
I don't even know. I've never taken
I
apart a
opened
Vulcan.
one up. I want to say it was reverse plunger, the old one. I could be wrong.
I didn't.
I think it
Forgive
was
me,
reverse,
Reddit.
And I think the Stampede was direct.
Oh.
Maybe. But I just think they probably updated it. Maybe they made the seal better, made the plunger better. I mean, I don't think the jump from 30 to 75 is as big as we think it is when you just use better parts.
And it's really not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you better parts, better seals. The cool thing will be is if the old dart belts work.
Correct. That was one of my biggest questions. Is
Because
are they going to
elites
be
didn't
compatible?
elites didn't fit in the old dart belts, right? Didn't you have to screw with the belt to get elites out of there, or they
I don't
worked?
think so.
No,
They
I
work
think
just
you
fine?
could. I think you could do it.
Yeah, if the old belts worked,
Because I think Streamlines worked in the Vulcan's belt, and Elites will shoot usually pretty well out of stuff that Streamlines would shoot out of.
yeah, there'll be a premium, even more so on Vulcan belts than there are now.
I know. I had 3 of them.
Wow.
Gave 'em
I
a
have
good
2. I'll have to get more.
Well, they'll probably re-release the belts. Nerf
Hopefully.
probably has a warehouse full of them somewhere. Like, we have too many belts.
Do you think they'll release them separately?
Yeah.
They used to. They used to have
did.
them separately.
That would
so.
be fantastic because I will want a lot. So this gun has got my 3D printing hat like in a tizzy. So follow me, folks. I would like to 3D scan the connectors for the blaster and the pod that it comes on because if it goes on a tripod, correct?
Yes, it does. Quite a nice tripod for a Nerf gun.
I would like to scan the things that make those connect.
Okay.
Just the connector parts.
Okay.
I would like to find a way to then fit a pole between those scanned and printed parts that match the connectors, thereby extending it and putting it on a tall pod. Yes, that is what I want. Mitchell, make it so.
You don't need a 3D printer for that.
Oh, damn it, but I want a 3D printer to be involved. It's just because,
Never mind. You need a 3D printer for that. Go buy one or 2.
But really, I just wanted to, so it would connect so you could take it apart easy without having to really touch. So the thing I like about 3D printing, there are ways to do stuff without having to touch the blaster. So the blaster's integrity, because if you guys know the underbarrel mods I do, it's all about not cutting.
Yeah.
Like I have a serial thing about not cutting my blaster. I don't know why, but it's just one of those
Oh,
things.
you'll put holes in it.
I'll put holes in it, but that's different than cutting it. I don't want to chop off handles and stuff, right? So you figure you 3D print the connection parts, but putting it on a pole, like on a little swivel ball joint on the top,
Definitely do.
that would be so awesome. I would stay in base defense for an entire season and just light people up.
And that's the thing, too. When Josh and I first started playing, we had extra Stampedes because that was one of the best ways to get 18-round mags back in the day.
The only.
So we were like, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to put a Stampede at each base for base defense, and people can pick it up and start firing when they need to just hold people off or out of ammo. The problem was people would pick them up and just go down the field with it. Be like, I found a blaster. I'm going to go assault with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why if you put it on a big stick, it may not happen as much. That's what I was
Exactly.
thinking.
Yeah.
It needs something to be like, yo, this is supposed to be stationary. I had one dude actually running around with both Stampedes that were one from each base. He's like, these are both mine. I'm dual wielding now.
Which back in the days of my blaster fires 10 to 20 feet, that was, and you had to do it one-handed. It was like 2 Vulcans was just almost broken at the time. This was pre-Raven.
2 Stampedes.
I'm sorry, 2 Stampedes.
Yeah.
Either or was
Yeah.
just like, what?
Yeah, I think probably pretty safely I could say I was one of the few people there that was like seriously outranging people when I brought my long shot that one time.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine, you saw that thing in play today, and it was good.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that when everybody else is shooting 25, 30 feet?
I'd have just kicked you in the junk.
I think probably quite a few people wanted to.
Yeah, watch the Nut Punch a Gram YouTube video.
1-888 my nuts.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. The only thing is, I like the tripod. I want to fix the height because I don't want to have to bring tables to the Nerf game.
I
And
can
the way
just
it's set up.
see you running around with a card table now and just slapping
Yeah,
that down.
I would. I
I
would.
mean, here's the thing. If you go to Goodwill, you can get tripods for pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So honestly, get one of those. You have adjustable height then, so you can make it as tall or short as you need to. You already have the adjustment on it. You can tilt it up and down. It's built to work on that axis. I mean, that seems like the easiest solution to get that working.
Yep.
It's just dedicating one blaster to doing that, and I feel like the Vulcan is a very fun blaster for that. The
Oh, yeah.
Stampede is more like, I'm using an electronic blaster. Yay. Vulcan, it's so bulkily designed. Not hindering you really, but it just feels right. That's like this blaster is so awesome. It needs to be supported by metal underneath it.
It feels like a turret and less like an assault.
It does.
blaster.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
you can run it that way, but it doesn't feel right.
Then you got the old Predator wrap the belt around your hand stuff. And-
Right.
Oh, it's gonna make for so many good Nerf. I'm all for blasters that make for cool Nerf moments.
Right.
Yeah.
Like those things that just you get a good picture or a good video. It's why I love the hammer shot. I felt like we've had some good Nerf moments because of the hammer shot. Some cool, just cool pictures. Even the Centurion in pictures
And feeling
looks good.
cool when you run it. You know what I mean?
I think the best thing that I like about the Vulcan the most, because I don't really like electric blasters very much. I'm a mechanical engineer, so electricity is all kinds of witchcraft, and that's not okay with me. I know how to do electronics and stuff like that, but it's just not my thing.
Yep.
But I feel like the best thing about the Vulcan, in my opinion, is that you carry it like a chainsaw.
Yes.
So that just feels awesome, and
I do love that.
that's
God,
all I
that
have to
is
say
good.
about that.
I remember when the Ravens first came out, and that's when I learned about like ultra fires and trust fires and putting those in there. Like first time we wrote up, like, oh, there's a flywheel in there, whatever, cool. Then I put 4 trust fires in there because I had no concept of like, oh, I'm sure it'll run fine. Later, like smoke came out of my blaster, and I'm like, oh, I can't use this for the rest of the day. When I revved it up and I go, I'm like, no, I'm gonna chainsaw someone. I would shoot players, run up to them, and do like the Gears of War animation where I take my blaster like it's a lancer and just like run it across, and he's like, ah!
I remember it. It was fun.
What was the other news? Because that was pretty exciting, and now I'm like,
Oh, so yeah, Shawn stepped up his game,
oh, that news.
and as soon as he found out they were available, he picked up some of the new Suction Cup Elite darts.
Yay, Shawn!
See, the advantage I had this time was that
You didn't have to drive anywhere to get them.
Exactly. They were on Amazon first.
Yes.
Actually, this isn't the first time this happened either. I remember when the Strife first came out, it was on Amazon, and everyone's like, oh, this is a fake. This isn't real. $20, that's way too cheap for it. And I'm like, I don't care. I have disposable income. I will pay the $20 and see what I get. And if it's not what I want, I'll return it. If it is what I want, then dibs. I got it first.
Yep.
And that's what happened with the darts. They went on Amazon Thursday, I think, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Thursday, and then I ordered them, have Amazon Prime, so I got 2-day shipping. Decent price for these new darts. It didn't try and jack up the price or do me wrong or anything like that.
Was it the same price as it usually is for a 30-pack? About?
I think so. $2 more?
Yeah, I think they were 11, right?
I think 11, yeah.
He just clicked the buy now button.
10. I think they were
I
10.
just literally clicked buy now, order complete. I'm like,
I think
boy,
they were
I
10.
hope
I
these
think they
come
were
in.
10. They might have been 10.99.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because
$10.99? Okay.
Because the math I was doing in my head, it was like I was trying to convert it because it's 30 darts I got in the package.
Yep.
So I'm like, how much is a 75 pack? So it's about the same.
It's close.
I remember it being about the same as the Zombie Strike darts actually. So it might be $10,
Yep.
10 or 11, one or the other.
And they're on sale right now for $9.39.
Yes. Thank you, Amazon. But yeah,
need
they
hundreds
came
of
in
them.
and we got to mess around with them a little bit.
Yeah.
Hundreds of them.
Yes. Mitchell, what were your thoughts on them?
I liked them a lot, as I'm going to get into later. I think they will be a better projectile than the stock Elite darts. I did some pretty interesting simulations in SolidWorks to just because I was interested in it. I like them. I really could care less that they don't stick to things.
Word.
So that was a problem we were running into.
I don't. Everybody on the internet is like, I got these darts and they have suction cups on them, and then now they don't stick to things. And I'm like, if they're like even 3% better than the regular Elites, I will probably end up going out and buying way too many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, accuracy seemed to be.
A little better.
Yeah, we didn't see as much fishtail. I mean,
Yeah.
for the record, I don't think any of us fired outside more than maybe 20. About 20, 25 shots, right?
Yeah, and these are all new darts too, so there's always a chance just all the darts we have are a little bit more beat up and these are fresh, but I don't think that's what it is.
I've had fresh darts fishtail on me at 50 feet too. There's usually, if you fire 10, 2 are going
Somewhere.
squirrely. These didn't really seem to go squirrely, and I'm like, I don't want to believe it. I could see maybe the range maybe not being as good once they get beat up. Maybe, I don't know.
Aerodynamically speaking, from a drag standpoint, the Elite darts are probably, the regular Elite streamlines are probably going to do significantly better. We saw some, I think somebody put up on Reddit,
Yeah,
somewhere that they weigh the same as a regular elite dart. So
Yeah, somebody did say that the weight was the same according to their electronic scale. I would be interested in seeing what the weight distribution is like
Yeah,
on the
'cause-
head versus the dart.
that is basically where I derived all of my conclusions for the
Yeah,
SolidWorks
more's in the
simulation.
foam.
Yeah.
Less in the head, more in the foam.
Oh, you want as
You
much
want more in the head.
as possible.
That's what I'm wondering, though. If you look at it, I wonder how it is distributed.
Because that's what with the regular streamlines versus the elite streamlines, there was a difference, but it wasn't huge. But the heads,
The head
there was a
like-
tail.
That went that far back into the dart.
Yeah, actually, the
So-
first video we did was us comparing
Yep.
the darts, and there was a huge tail in the old orange darts that accounts for most of the weight, and it's all been pushed into a smaller,
of the
more
dart.
compact
I still want to get up
head
from
of the
this
dart.
table and go rip a regular dart.
Oh,
and
we'll
one
do
dart
that
up
later.
right
We're
now.
going to rip them open and weigh them and do everything with them.
Good.
Yeah.
Send me that data when you do, and I'll run another SolidWorks
Yeah, it's
simulation
because
and tell you things.
The change will be in the head. I'm just assuming that the foam, because they had to make them different to make them catch on the flywheels, right? Mm-hmm. So the flywheel's got to be catching the part underneath the suction
Like,
and not the sucker.
It could be catching the.
it could just be catching the dart.
Yeah, I think most of the,
The
flywheel
foam.
blasters just run by
Because
grabbing
the
foam, but-
thought it
head of
grabs
a
the dart
normal
first.
elite dart
It
is
goes in a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not like
It
it's not
does.
like a whistler where it needs to like have
Also-
that thicker head to catch on and guide it.
yeah, that would be the old barricade.
Ugh.
Barricade used to need to grab the rubber there, but
Yep. Okay.
if you overvolt them too much, I've seen people have said, "Yeah, I've overvolted my flywheel blaster,
And it melts the foam.
It melts the foam."
Yeah.
So
You should always do that and clean your blaster once a year.
Yes.
sure.
And spay and neuter your pets, kids.
Gonorrhea in the trenches is no joke.
And chlamydia among koalas is no joke either.
Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah,
Sideways like an elite dart.
So, yeah, they look interesting. I don't know if I will switch to them. I gotta play with them more and really see how the accuracy is versus the range. If you lose a lot of range, but you gain a lot of accuracy, it might be worth it in my book. One of the things that we noticed was that they didn't have that impact that regular elite streamlines have.
That's true.
Like you couldn't feel it hit as much as,
Which makes sense because the head of a streamline's a pretty much one big dome, right?
Yeah.
And
Correct.
this is a dome, but with a little tip sticking up, like a little flimsy tip. Because the sticky part looks way different than the older ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Way
lot
less,
it's
smaller.
way less
completely-
substantial, yeah.
Yeah.
Redesigned.
I mean, talking about density of the tip too. I mean, we talked about this where with the old regular streamline darts, it had a longer tail, so the weight was more, I guess you can say, evenly distributed. It was over a longer distance.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, so with the elite darts, all that was compact in the head, so all the weight was in one area. So if you look at the suction darts, if they're about the same weight, that head is even smaller, so the weight's more concentrated towards the front.
Potentially, yeah.
In theory. I mean, we
Right.
still have to open it up. It might have a
Right.
really long tail behind it too, just like the original Streamlines did, but
Doubt it, but yeah.
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 They're not,
So-
it's not performing like it has a long tail. Like the streamlines, I used to try running those because I wanted a sniper rifle. And the long shot was that gun.
Yup.
And I'd shoot them, and I know you guys have seen the Elite's fishtail, but it's way, way better than the regular streamlines.
Oh yeah.
The regular streamlines, you could not hit, like, this area. I had one of them go this way. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about when my brother was running it back when everybody was modding their blasters pre-elite line, and he came out with a Raider, and from less than 5 feet away,
You couldn't hit it.
he couldn't hit somebody. And I mean, this is the guy who sneaks up with people and hits them with jolts.
yeah.
Dark times.
Yeah, it was, and he was like unloading, like.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Josh brought up
ridiculous.
durability could be an issue too.
Correct.
And now that I'm thinking about it more, if that little suction stem is taking all the impact over and over again, it may not make it.
It is thinner plastic. It's kind of like more like a thin sheet instead of like a whole dome to distribute the impact. So there is that.
Yep.
I'm still more worried about the foam wearing out first, because that's usually what goes.
Yeah.
I'm more worried, I think, about like if you step on darts, which I know that happens a lot in our games. I feel like the other ones sort of bounce back because the rubber that's used on the tip is
Pretty thick.
it's pretty thick, and then it compresses because it has the hole, so all of the air comes out. With these, I'd be almost worried about them tearing on stuff in games, but
See, I have to wonder, and obviously Mitchell can answer this. I mean, the tip of a dart is so small is a little tearing on the suction part really going to make that big of a difference overall?
I wouldn't think it would. What I ended up proving in my simulation, if you guys want me to start talking about that now.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
for
let's
it.
go ahead and get
Okay.
into that.
So I used a program called SolidWorks to do this simulation. Now what this program does is I make a model of the dart. I didn't have my calipers, so it is not an exact model of the elite darts that you have. And as somebody pointed out, I didn't hollow out the cavity in the front of the dart, which shouldn't make any impact at all. Talked to the fluid mechanics professor about it. Said it wouldn't matter. Anyway, because I was just doing a fluid flow around the outside of the dart and seeing what kind of forces there was going to be on the dart. So, if you take a dart, you have it in an airflow, and you could somehow figure out exactly how much force was acting on it, in which direction, at which point. That's what I did. SolidWorks takes the airflow and chops it up into, I wrote down the number. I think it was well over 300,000 little pieces. Oh, sorry. A little far away from the mic. Anyway, SolidWorks chops up the airflow around it into 300,000 little pieces and then solves algebraically using matrices and all kinds of other science and witchcraft.
Mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, that I've taken courses for, but it doesn't really matter
If you need
for
notes.
the average people. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
So anyway, I tested it at 300 feet per second, which is way faster than anybody's going to be shooting an elite dart for some time.
That's a challenge. And I see that is a flat out dead challenge by my main man here saying y'all can't do it before he does. That's right, Reddit. That's what he said.
I want to see videos of darts exploding now because I feel like that's going to happen in testing this.
That's what the M man said.
Instead of a muzzle flash, it's just going to be blue foam coming out of the front of the blaster.
My long shot's getting pretty close, and I feel like if I tweaked it and put in a little bit stronger spring, I could probably get it there. Or if I did the same thing to my plus bow that I did to the long shot, it would be there, but that would just be a bit ridiculous and really unwieldy. So anyway, nobody's going to be shooting elite streamlines at 300 feet per second. Most of the people that are shooting stuff at 200 plus FPS are using homemade darts anyway. This was just a proof of concept kind of a thing.
Homemade darts or witchery.
They just have better weight distribution, B.F.U.
Witchery.
Okay. So, anyway, you all can see the simulation on your guys' blog.
Yep.
That is BayAreaNerf.com.
Yep.
Please rate, comment, subscribe.
There you go, Sean. There you go. You got to get that one in.
Yes.
So the pictures are kind of nice just to see what's going on and see how particles are flowing past the dart. But I really just put those up there because I like pictures, and it's easier to see what I'm talking about if you've got some pictures for reference. The main thing that I used for my conclusions was the table at the end. So the table at the end talks about how there's some forces on the dart and that kind of thing. If anybody was interested, the force in the X direction in that table, you can actually get a drag coefficient out of that with everything I've given you. I just didn't because I don't really care. It's going to be fairly high because the dart has a really low section density and other witchcraft.
He's doing that, folks. He's talking like that because he's looking at me while he's doing this, and I am blacked out.
His eyes are so
My
glazed
eyes
over.
are glazed. I heard coefficient, cohabitation, some kind of whatever those people that marry multiple people do. Polygamy.
Polygamy.
The polygamy coefficient was crazy.
Mormons.
Wow, that's
And I trust you, so I know your data's correct.
And yet you
Because I
won't trust
trust
me
you.
when I say magic.
No.
Oh,
His magic is backed by science.
Magic must defeat magic.
No, your magic's backed by
what you say.
shenanigans.
That's
His is
the best
backed by
magic.
science and a computer program. It's way different. So,
Natalie
question.
Portman, Thor, calm
Yes.
down.
It's more like a rainbow bridge.
Yeah,
You have access to a wind tunnel where you are?
I do.
Uh-oh. Be careful what you say to him.
No, I'm not sure if it's even for Nerf or he just wants to go in a wind tunnel and fly around. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Both.
You're gonna have to be about this size because the
I
one
can
tunnel we
fit.
have is only.
Oh, Josh can fit. Josh can fit into everything. Damn it.
So put this in perspective. Mitchell just hold up like a size that was like
It's about
the
the size
diameter
of a dinner
basketball
plate. Yeah.
or a dinner plate.
Dinner
Josh is as big as a
basketball.
bread box.
There
He
we
can
go.
compress his body down. He's
I
like
am.
a mouse.
I am indeed 3 apples.
Would
high.
there be any anything to gain from doing a Nerf dart wind tunnel thing?
I've wanted to, and I talked to the tech who works at our school on the wind tunnel, and we're trying to find a way right now to do it. Nerf darts are too light to go on. We have I did one of my classes, the finite element analysis class, actually used the wind tunnel to test for drag coefficients on a bobsled design. So.
Oh, that sounds like cool runnings.
It kind of was. That's actually they referenced it in the prompt.
This is gonna.
I'm fist
Come
pumping
on,
right now. I'm so happy.
Just at 3. 1, 2, 3. Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Here we go. It's bobsled time. Cool running.
I know.
Rest in peace, John Candy.
Yeah. So the problem with putting a Nerf dart in the wind tunnel is the stinger that you'd have to put it on is close to 5/8 of an inch in diameter, and you'd have to drill a hole in the Nerf dart, which would be 5/8 of an inch. So that's not going to happen.
Would it work on a mega dart?
It might, but it would just. I'm working on making a rig so that I basically the rig that I have envisioned is I'm going to figure out where the center of mass is, and then just run a piece of fishing line through it, and then hang it out in the middle like that.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
That I can follow.
yeah.
He said fishing line. I'm good.
I just like watching BFU's mind work. You can like see the gears turning, like
Science,
fishing
science,
line.
science. Wind
I understand
tunnel.
that word. Yes, hanging it. I understand.
I'm just more visually expressive than you two. You two don't know what he's talking about either.
Yeah, magic.
Yeah, see?
So I've been trying to do that, but the last couple of weeks at school have been just miserable, so I haven't gotten around to it.
It's just awesome you have access to a wind tunnel.
It's pretty neat.
He's like Moroku from Inuyasha.
There's
Nobody's
so
going to
many
get
things-
that joke but me. Yes.
There's so
No,
many things I
I
could think of to
understand.
do with a wind tunnel, like firing a blaster into the wind tunnel.
Not going to happen, unfortunately. Damn it. Sorry, Chris.
firing a blaster in a wind tunnel.
Yeah.
Just see if I want to see the blowback.
So
See, I'm thinking the opposite way. I want to fire it into the wind.
No, I want to fire it against the wind.
so much speed. No, modded rapid strike into the wind
And
tunnel.
no,
Just
dart push into the wind tunnel.
oh, it'd be like the red tornado but blue.
Not if you're using a mega
So,
dart.
I actually did read most of the thing, and I didn't understand half of it. But what I understand is the little hole doesn't do damn thing.
Sort of.
Okay.
The conclusion
It's
that
like
I
a
came
half
to
it, right?
was that it doesn't do a whole lot. Yes, anything on a projectile, this light is going to affect it
Right.
to some degree, but according to the math that I did, which I am by no way claiming is the best math out there or is correct.
I will go on a limb and say it is. Prove him wrong.
My math is actually the best.
Challenge on Reddit.
Science approximates, magic is exact.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
that's
just
not
get
true
me
at
in
all.
such hot water right now, Chris.
You put a lot of work into that. I think that might be some of the most. I mean, and there are other guys that do scientific Nerf stuff on, and I don't discredit when they put stuff up too. I'm like, wow, you guys worked hard.
Yeah, thank you for acknowledging my hard work in
Yeah.
the Nerf community.
And by the way, that's RTE for those who don't know what that means. So, effort respected. Good job.
Thank you.
Oh, fist bump.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a fist bump. Yeah, we got to come up. We need a sound effects next episode.
Yeah.
Bro,
I'm
No
working
pressure,
on it.
Sean.
I'm working on it.
So the conclusion that I came to was, according to the math that I did, and with the simulation I did at 300 plus feet per second, the dart, the hole by itself should make the dart accurate within about a 4-foot circle at 100 feet, which nobody's seeing anyway for reasons that are as of yet untested and unclear. But
I mean, but this is the thing. Your test was just on the hole in the tip of the dart, right?
I wasn't testing. This was so instead of having the dart fired from a gun and going through a flow, this dart is just fixed in space, and then there's air flowing past it.
Makes sense.
So there's no initial conditions. There's no it was fired with flywheels or it was fired with
Right.
a crossbow or a plunger gun or an air gun. It was just, in theory, this dart should be stable at this speed. Now, there was a point where it was unstable, and that was when it was between... So if the dart's going straight on, the way the center of aerodynamic pressure works, and this is going to be a stretch. So, if you follow me, great. If not...
I'll explain it. In a
If not,
second for all of you.
there's going to be a YouTube video in 2014 for this. Just
I'm gonna drop pictures for you.
actually, no, we will. I promise the Nerf community
God.
Oh, gosh.
by May of next year,
no.
we will put up a show me with Mitchell on YouTube. There will be a show me. If you guys don't know what the show me app is, some of you guys probably don't, but Mitchell will have a show me.
Yeah, and then B.F.U is going to do a TED Talk on
Yeah.
Nerf.
And then I'll come out with my Zingbo reveal.
I mean, we're just making promises, so it sounded good.
I don't know what a TED Talk is.
What?
Wow.
No, you would love them. They're awesome. It's just people talking about stuff and putting it in simple terms.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you
Could be
later.
about
So
like
la-
science,
like
life.
like layman's.
Yeah.
It's weird because I didn't understand TED Talks until I bought a tablet that you told me to buy. Because then it was like, recommended for you, TED Talks. So like, oh.
Anyways,
He did a facepalm, by the way. BF, you did a facepalm. I'm just going to start narrating all his.
Yeah.
happy.
So,
Double facepalm Picard.
wait, where were we? We're just okay. I was going to go into aerodynamic center of pressure.
Correct.
Yes.
So, this is a lot more important in rocketry.
Yeah, I'm visually making
So,
this out for
That's
myself.
a tree that grows rockets for all of you who aren't technically enabled.
Or Estes, or NASA, or other things.
I have a friend who works for NASA.
Very nice.
Okay, so I'm the dart.
So,
His name is Paul, and he comes to our games.
we all know what the center of mass is. So that's if you took all of the points on the dart, and you could say that the mass was acting like it was a point mass. That would be where the center of mass is. So somewhere in there.
Yeah.
The center of pressure, if you take all of the pressure forces on the dart that's in the flow, you could say that all of those forces are acting through the center of pressure in the same way that you could say gravity or any other force is acting through the center of mass.
I actually almost kind of understand that. Keep going.
Yeah. So, the center of pressure moves location from, along the dart, depending on what angle it is, because ordinarily in a fluid flow, you would completely neglect any of the force that's on the side of a cylinder, because until your angle of attack gets to about 10 degrees off of straight ahead, it's very negligible. And I literally had to do a lot of research before I found a paper that had any data at angles of attack between like 5 and 0.
Got it.
So, that, as your angle of attack changes, the aerodynamic center of pressure changes, because the dart starts to act less like just the nose cone, because when it's going straight ahead, the only pressure force that's acting on the dart is on the nose, and everything else is just going to be drag
Yeah.
Yep.
and going straight back. So at very small angles of attack, the nose of the elite dart has a bigger effect on things than when if it's completely sideways, then you can basically say it's a cylinder.
Right.
And the center of pressure is directly in the middle of the cylinder.
Got it.
So at small angles of attack, the center of pressure and the center of gravity kind of switch back and forth from which is in front. The center of gravity doesn't move. The center of pressure does.
Right.
So what I found was that at angles of attack lower than 1 degree, so when the dart's going directly straight on to just barely turned at all, which you're never going to see anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The dart wasn't stable because the center of pressure was ahead of the center of gravity. So if you think about it, if you've got your center of gravity back here,
Yep.
and the center of pressure is ahead of it, and you've got a force going this way and the dart's going this way, it's going to tend to push the dart more out of shape.
Right.
And so if it was like that a lot, then they would say it's not very stable. Generally, for rocketry, they say that your center of pressure should be at least one length of the diameter of whatever biggest diameter your projectile or rocket is behind the center of mass, and that would be considered a very stable projectile. So as it's going through the air, the elite dart, why it fishtails and why it kind of skitters along is because the center of pressure and the center of gravity are kind of moving around and doing stuff at different angles.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So that's why it fishtails. But that being said, most of the time when I'm shooting stuff out of more powerful guns that I have specifically made to minimize muzzle blast, because I think that is the biggest factor that causes the inaccuracy. I can get them within about what I said, within about a 4-foot circle at 100 feet, which is pretty darn good, I'd say.
I have a follow-up question.
Okay. So you followed all that, just so we're
I followed.
Yeah, makes sense.
I followed it enough to think I understand.
okay.
So, muzzle blast. You believe muzzle blast is a determination of why darts are one of the key factors of darts being inaccurate.
I do.
Or switching. Nope. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I'm there. Sorry.
Yeah.
So is that why when we were shooting the crossbow earlier, not the Nerf crossbow, the NXT crossbow,
Yeah.
since it pushes the dart There's no air involved.
Exactly.
Is that why it shoots? Is that why it shoots more accurate? Probably within a 2 foot.
Yeah.
2 foot radius.
Exactly. That's
because it's being pushed and there's no air pressure involved and less variable.
Yeah. And I could rerun the simulation for the dart at like a bunch of different angles of attack and prove this. But that simulation took like 45 minutes to run on a quad-core computer with 8 gigs of RAM. So
I have one of those. Just let it run overnight at my house.
But you don't have the $8,000 software package that I need.
Nope.
PirateBay.com.
No.
I'm joking.
This is engineering software, and they will come after you if you have it illegally.
I'm not pirating
Josh.
anything.
Challenge accepted, Josh.
Don't challenge me to that. I'll have to leave my computer disconnected to the internet because every time I run it, they'll come after me.
Yeah, no, they're pretty serious about that. But I have access to it because I'm an engineer.
I don't want to say if I do or do not have access because I have clients that may or may not use the software.
You can use it while you're a student. So what I'm hearing is we have to make it sure you never graduate and keep doing Nerf work.
Or just give me this piece of software, and I can also use it for your 3D printer because I'm pretty darn good at making stuff in
No, I
SolidWorks.
mean, that costs money. I'm going to just sabotage you instead. That's much easier. Then you keep spending money on school.
Yeah,
and it's
$8
not my
grand's more
problem.
than the printer.
Well, yeah. But I can also do simulations and tell you if your parts are going to break.
No, I'm good.
Okay. I figured you would be.
But I got one more question.
All right. Go ahead.
How do you feel this is always my main question with Nerf darts, and why I feel that I know that the Steffens are centered better, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They're just better, right? I feel like the hole in the Nerf dart, the back hole, the air hole, massively affects how they perform versus like saying if it was just a solid piece of foam.
I don't think so. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Chris.
It's cool.
I'm not going to say that it doesn't at all, but if I ran the simulation with a solid core piece of foam there versus with that, the only thing that's going to affect is it might pull the center of gravity back a little bit, and I would say that would make it less stable.
What about from the consistency from something shooting from behind it? So you're pushing air, right? You're pushing air. If you're pushing it over a flat, solid space, is that better than pushing it over a space that's got a hole poked through the middle of it?
I actually think the way that they design the darts is better because it has a hole in it.
Okay.
And if you'd like me to go into why.
Yeah, give me why.
So I think it makes them a little bit more consistent, at least with spring and air-powered guns, because if you've got that pressure inside of the dart expanding it out a little bit, it's going to get a more consistent fit in the barrel.
All right.
I feel like I explained that to you. Like,
You
twice,
did.
but
So
you-
it's not that I don't.
No, it's just cool that you're like, okay. I'll
No, it's not that I don't
believe this.
trust you. It's just because most Steffens don't have holes in the back.
That's more of a thing because foam backer rod doesn't come hollow.
Right. It just feels like since I mean, you are obviously know way more about this than me. So I want to make this clear. I'm not arguing with the guy who's going to have a PhD in this stuff.
Just a master's.
I'm not okay, masters
Next year.
I'm not that arrogant that I would argue with him. I just felt like the pressure spread over a consistent surface was different than putting it in a hole and having those variables.
It is different, but
Negligible.
not a whole lot. It could also, because it's going to be filled with pressurized gas at the end, and that's going to have to flow out, so it might get like a little extra push from that, and that could make it a little bit more inconsistent. But I feel like dealing with muzzle blast, at least from where I'm sitting and from the stuff I've been looking through, is the biggest thing. And you shot my long shot.
That's nice. Yeah.
I mean, I remember back in the days when I was looking into modding stuff way more because everything, end strike days, right? One of the tutorials I was looking at for Steffen making was saying, like, if you really want to make really good Steffens, take an actual Nerf dart and use them because you're going to get a better fit every time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, foam backer rod is just so
cheap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's made by the lowest bidder, and that was one of the things that really turned me off from making a bunch of homemade darts was I couldn't get foam backer rod consistently, even from the same source. Like I would buy Frost King foam backer rod from the same true value, and like 2 packs in the line, same packaging, made probably in the same factory, and one of them would shoot great out of one of my homemade guns, and the other one would just kind of be like.
That's interesting because from what I hear, you've never really shot a Nerf gun until you've shot a homemade Steffen.
No,
You don't know accuracy.
I believe it had to do with accuracy, and that again has to do with all of the weighting of.
Well, yeah, because when I got into nerfing and homemade dart, this was before I don't know if everybody here knows what slug darts are.
Mm-hmm.
Are we at least sort of familiar with those?
Yeah.
Yep.
This was before that. So this was like back in the let's hot glue some 1/4-inch steel slingshot BBs into the tips of some foam backer rod and basically make a BB gun with a sabot.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Yeah, that was my first homemade gun, was an air cannon that shot that, and I decided that I was never going to use that on another human being when there's a junkyard next to my dad's shop, and I was there putting it together, and the guy who owns the junkyard came out, he's like, "Oh, what you doing?" I was like, "Oh, putting this gun together." He's like, "Oh, why don't you shoot one of the windshields over there?" And I shot the windshield, and the BB ripped itself out of the dart and went through the windshield, and then most of the way through one of the seats. Granted, this is not something I would shoot at anybody anyway with a regular dart, because it was firing like 500 plus feet angled. So that wasn't going to happen. But
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we don't allow modified darts.
I completely agree with that.
Games.
It makes a ton of sense to make everybody use the same ammunition. Plus, it kind of levels the playing field,
Exactly.
except for now.
You know. But I mean, even if we have some people getting 100 feet, it's still not like someone getting 500 feet. Yeah.
And
That's
the load
ridiculous.
time's pretty. Oh no, you use that out of clip, so you're good.
Yeah. And I can put the 35 round drum in there, so and I have one, so that's happening.
Yeah.
All comes together.
I mean, I think it's still all within the same realm of playing.
And you trade off some ROF though with that.
Well, and I'm not going
Pulling
to
it
use it
back.
up at close range.
Yeah.
I wanted a Nerf sniper rifle, so I built myself a Nerf sniper rifle, and I intend to use it as a Nerf sniper rifle.
Makes sense.
And I don't care how hard I get flamed because everybody's like, "There's no sniping in Nerf."
Nerf. Yeah.
You know,
Well, here's,
Why is there no sniping in Nerf?
so if you play, because if everybody's got a plus bow,
Yeah,
then
What are you
going
gonna do to make it snipe?
and never takes a step out.
yeah.
then everybody's sniping. Well, sniping. I'm using air quotes because
It's like the Hatfield and the McCoys. They'll just sit at each other's houses the whole time and trying to pick each other off one by one.
And I'm in no way saying that NIC wars aren't fun or that, you go do your thing, but I understand when they say there's no sniping in Nerf when everybody's getting ranges that are 100 plus feet.
It doesn't matter because
Yeah, it doesn't
everybody's
matter.
getting ranges that are.
You would
100 plus
have to be
feet.
getting 5, 6 plus 100 feet to be a quote unquote sniper. And I mean, even snipers in Nerf.
I think my limited exposure to other types of Nerf is
well, even
hurting me at this
so
point.
even in our
If
games,
there's
though,
another Bano, we'll go to it.
so
We'll show you.
Let me know. Mitchell wants to go.
I don't know if you want to do that.
in our games, if you're getting 100 feet and I'm getting 65 with a out of the box elite blaster,
Yeah.
so while you're able to hit me at a larger range, it's not like a true sniper where I'm not
Yeah.
even going to be able to touch you. I can run up to Mitchell if he's
You
shooting
can
me from
close
100
the-
feet
yeah,
away and
it's about
close
closing
that
the
gap.
distance.
Exactly.
Correct. That's why people say there's no sniping in Nerf.
Yeah. You're never going
it
to be
makes-
able to sit at one
theoretically,
flag.
they're
It's
with a
reasonable,
correct,
and
but-
the field we play on is not really big enough to have a dedicated sniper rifle be that effective. But I am Tim the Toolman Taylor, more power.
Yes.
So that and I am obsessed with accuracy and range. So that made sense for me to make my own Nerf quote unquote sniper rifle, whatever you want to call
I'm
it.
glad you're using, and I'm glad you're using stock darts too, because
Yeah.
my hatred for stuff in the basement is well known and documented.
Yeah.
Well, that and I ran my plus bow at one of the games back when you guys let Brian and I use homemade darts that
Yes.
one time,
Yeah.
and Kimball also.
Yep.
And
Oh, that's a scary thought.
He was using them
Yep.
in his bow too.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a really scary thought, guys. Let's never do that again.
I'm kind
No
of
offense, Kimball. Just
I'm kind of glad that we don't do that because
Nope.
it was kind of ridiculous because
Yeah.
my plus bow with the barrels that I had and everything, I could hit a pie plate at 130 plus feet,
Wow.
and it wasn't quite fair.
Yeah,
it was-
basically we had you on opposite teams and we like, okay, guy with the hailfire, you go defend the sniper. Don't let anyone run up to him and he'll just pick off anyone who tries.
Yeah, it was, I mean, we were still getting all the rules down and things, and we didn't want to, at that point, stifle creativity. We wanted to be open to this community that basically almost everyone in the community that we saw running games were running with homemade blasters anyway.
Yeah.
So we assumed that our games were eventually going to evolve to everyone running homemade blasters, and it just didn't.
I'm kind of glad that they didn't because I actually like that more people can, just come with a
Right.
stock blaster and play.
Yeah, I agree.
It is fun because obviously you have people who will modify blasters and they'll focus more on performance of the blaster. Then we have people who literally might know nothing about Nerf, and
But
we're like,
they-
here's a jolt, go, and just run really fast and shoot things.
Yeah, I feel like this at least opens it up to a venue. It makes it a venue for a lot bigger audience.
Right. And that's what we wanted to do. Make it accessible to new players.
Yeah,
And I think that's something that worked really well for HVZ too. I've met people who organize HVZ events, and I was running a B.F.U design. It was
Yeah.
it was a stripe with an Alpha Trooper integrated underneath it,
Oh, that's awesome.
and I walked up to talk.
Why
to the
do I not
vendor.
have one?
It's so good. I really did love that blaster. It's a big boy blaster though.
Yeah, Sean's 6. You got to be. What are you 6? About 6'1"?
5'8".
Oh, you ain't running it. It's too. I can barely prime it.
Yeah, the long shot that I made with the 2 rough cuts, I kind of have to stand like this when I use it, but I'm using it anyway.
Yeah, it's Sean.
just
It's
fun.
Sean's. It's a Sean size mod.
I like it. I'm 6 foot, so it's about the right size for me. But I ran at HVZ and I go talk to one of the event organizers afterwards, like, oh, blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, by the way, what blaster is that? And I'm like, oh, it's just an Alpha Trooper and a Strife. And he's like, a what and a what?
And you're just
And I'm like, this is a Strife. It's a $20 blaster. Just came out, like, I guess like 3 months ago at this
You know,
point.
like 50% of the people at this game are running one right now, and you
How
organized
do you
this.
not
know what this is.
Yeah.
You just ran an HVZ event with like 90 people at it,
And Mavericks.
and you don't know what a Strife is. Like, he's a cool dude, but he's there. He was there with melee weapons. He just wants to run around and hit people.
Yeah.
Which for HVZ it makes sense. He's a guy who doesn't need to know about Nerf.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to know about modding. Doesn't need to know the technicals. He can go and play, and with enough, I guess, natural skill at this point, keep up with the other players.
It's accessible to people who have no desire to learn or participate in Nerf outside of HVZ.
Yeah,
They just
I
have
feel
fun
like
doing
that's
it.
something we've kind of crossed over into our games. You don't necessarily need to know how to mod
Right.
to be able to play with us, and that's fantastic.
Plus, one thing that I actually liked about the way you guys set it up, where I had to use stock darts, is it made it a heck of a lot more challenging for me. Because if I could make my own darts, I'd be running my plus bow and that kind of thing. And it is a heck of a lot harder to design a gun that accurately shoots one of those elite streamlines,
Yeah.
130-ish feet, than it is to just make your own darts.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's a real testament to your intelligence and what you know about Nerf, because we gave you a challenge. You're like, look, you can make your own custom ammo and custom guns and get performance, but here's the limitation. You have to use this ammo with these type of blasters. Make it happen.
So when are we going to see the first Mitchell branded gun that shoots mega darts? You know you want to do it.
I know I want to, but
You know you wanna do
I
it,
already
dude.
have a big pistol that shoots funny ammo.
Yeah.
That's true.
Can you make a barrel for your plus bow to do it?
Oh, heck yeah.
You might as well.
yeah, that's
That
easy to
actually
do.
would be... Darn it.
It just seems
I'm
like
going to have to get more Teflon now.
yeah. It just. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, I want to give you credit for that. We didn't touch on it when you were doing earlier.
Oh,
I think you were the first man that we know of.
That I am aware of, I heard from my friend Ben that back on the forums back in the day, somebody said that they thought it might have been a good idea. I had no idea that this happened and was on McMaster because I'm weird and I look at parts and bar stock and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And I found that they sold Teflon tubes and I was like, oh, Teflon. That'd be an awesome barrel material. And then I looked at it, and it was too small by about 10,000ths of an inch or something like that. And I was like, darn, that's no, a couple of hundredths of an inch. It was like 0.47 inches on the inside.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, and that was going to be way too tight. So then I was like, They also sell McMaster also sells drill bits. How can we make this work?
That's
And-
awesome.
Solving problems.
Yeah. The
That's
only
awesome.
problem is that I can only make 9-inch sections because my drill bit's like only 12 inches
Right.
long, and I don't actually use a drill press. The Teflon is soft enough that I can just bore it out by hand.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
It takes a while,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's kind of sketchy because to get the barrel the same all the way through, you have to pull the drill bit all the way through and twist it.
Right.
So I just usually end up wrapping it in a paper towel so I don't slice my hand again.
Always a good idea.
But
Safety first, children.
So, in terms of using Teflon as a barrel material, my advice to most people is don't.
That keeps you the innovator of offense.
The coefficient of friction in, like, say, a 9/16 brass barrel is already pretty darn low once the dart is moving, plus the dart's not actually touching much. So all this allowed me to do was make the barrel a little bit tighter so you could you would lose a little bit less, and I could use a little bit longer barrel.
Gotcha.
Other than that, it has made the gun incredibly finicky. It doesn't like it if the darts are just a little bit too big. They'll actually get lodged in the barrel.
Makes sense.
But no food will stick to it when you wash the barrel.
No, but it will flake off and get in your food eventually.
Con!
So, if you want like the absolute best barrel that you can spend money on, Teflon is looking like the way to go. But you're getting like maybe 8 to 10 FPS out of it.
And you just told me and Sean, because you said the best you could spend money on. Sean was like, yep.
Yep. That's what we have to do now.
Well, technically it's not. There's actually materials out there that are slipperier than Teflon. Bam.
What would be one of these materials?
Yeah, see, now you just added like 10 minutes of the podcast.
Now you said there's a level beyond Super Saiyan 2. I want to know what 3 is.
Okay, Teflon is the third slipperiest material we know of. I don't know what's in second place right offhand, but first place is a material called BAM, which is aluminum magnesium boride.
Okay, sweet. Where
You
do
say
I buy that?
BAM? BAM?
BAM.
Damn.
Oh, this is even.
Bam?
This is like a good.
Wait.
Frost
So when I
special
shoot
with
people,
Nerf.
I can go BAM.
Yeah.
You just got BAMmed.
Except,
Bam.
except in order to apply it to the inside of a tube, you're going to need a $400,000 pulse laser sintering machine. Believe me, I
Okay.
looked into this.
Oh!
Go on.
It's this. It's a ceramic that they use in nano coatings. So far on cutting tools and not much else. It was only Ames in. I want to say they were working with the University of Iowa, their research laboratory, and they theorized it in like 1970 and only found it in like the late 90s. So,
It's like Tony Stark in his second generation arc reactor.
yeah, it's ridiculous. It makes Teflon look like rough sandpaper.
Now, would they have this at the NASA Ames Center?
I doubt it. You can't buy it commercially that I have found and I have looked.
I'm not talking
So
about.
we need to
commercial.
figure out what number 2 is then.
Number 2, I think it's another ceramic. I think Teflon is the most accessible. And to be fair, the coefficient of friction with the of kinetic friction, so when the dart's moving in brass already, is pretty darn low.
Nothing. Carbon fiber is not going to be able to be used.
You could make a barrel out of carbon fiber. My point is, the barrel material doesn't matter a whole lot as long as your dart fits correctly.
I know. I just want to say carbon fiber on the podcast.
Can I pause you on that real quick? So there's been some debate I've seen online when I was looking to do some modding. Like I wanted to take my Range Master and put brass barrel in there. Difference between brass and copper, is it really that big then? It doesn't sound like it from what you're saying.
There's going to be a bit of a difference in this coefficients of friction just because the material's different. But, excuse me, the main thing that I'm getting at is dart and barrel fit is the most crucial thing. Like my Teflon barreled long shot, if the dart is just a little bit too big, it won't come out of the barrel all the way.
Yeah.
Right.
But on the right dart, when it seals up really good, I get like 250, 260 FPS out of it, and it really hurts to get hit by.
That's going to be bad.
I'm not going to shoot people up close.
That's what the guy with the single Titan said.
I'm not
No,
that guy.
I feel like he never said he wouldn't do
I was
that.
just I don't know if that was ever said.
Oh,
by
then he
him.
stopped showing up after I'm threatening to break his gun.
Yeah.
But see, Chris, I'm not that guy.
I know.
And that's what's important.
Plus, you might actually feel bad.
Yeah.
If you cut somebody open, you might feel bad.
After he did it, he's like, I'm coming back for round 2.
Yeah, I felt bad after when I cut the guy with the vortex disc.
Oh, you cut
Oh, I
somebody
don't
with one of
remember
those?
that.
Well, cut is a relative term. I shot him
Yeah.
in the mouth, and I don't know what his oral hygiene was. So it could be like me, where you just, you pluck my mouth and I start my gum bleed. It's called gingivitis.
Yes.
Yeah, I shot him in the mouth at like 4 feet, and he bled, and I felt bad.
Eh.
I felt super bad.
I regret nothing.
I'm
I
disappointed
regret
in you,
nothing.
son. You
What,
know
did I feel
better.
bad?
No, not that you feel bad. That
So that's what I am
at
disappointed
4
about.
feet, you punched a man in the face.
No.
With a disc.
We came. There was cornering involved. It was on that stupid bridge.
Yeah.
I came around the corner. I saw, and I went in a full slam fire mode on the
Okay.
Pyragon.
Okay, I'll give you that. For some reason, when I was thinking Disc Blaster, I was thinking like a Nitron or something.
No, it was a Pyragon. No, it was the Nitron with the mods. No.
Yeah, you would take a man's head off with that.
Nope. Nope.
Well, now
I-
you'll have a new thing to do that with.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
we want
we'll
to
get
talk
to
about the
that.
triple rough cut?
You guys can if you want to.
Yeah, there's a
Guys,
triple rough
it's your-
cut.
It's your thing, dude.
Okay.
This dude's a genius.
Thank you. I wouldn't quite call it that, but all right. Thank you.
Let's just go with Savant.
Yeah, you can be humble. That's cool. That's not our job.
Humble brag.
So I actually saw it on Nerf Haven first.
Good job, Nerf Haven.
They had a mod contest, and the winner was a double rough cut. And I was like, that's really cool, but what it needs is another gun.
Yes.
Everything's better in
This is what I like to
threes.
call Rough Cut 2.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the third time I reference this. This is a level beyond Rough Cut 2.
Yeah. So as far as I know, that's the only one of those that exists, and I took it upon myself to make a double rough cut and then integrated it into the bottom of one of my long shot sniper rifles.
Yes.
Because, yeah. And it still slam fires, and the trigger is backed by the long shot trigger, and it's just so fun.
The triple rough cut's awesome. It just reminds me of a pirate gun.
I was sort of thinking blunderbuss or shotgun, because what Nerf doesn't really have a really good one of right now, and I know the sledge fire sort of works for some people.
Nope.
Okay, it doesn't work for
I
me.
own two. It does not.
So,
No.
I wanted...
Combine them together.
Don't bring up dark things.
Sorry, Chris. But anyway, I was looking into making or getting a Nerf shotgun because at the game I played recently, the one thing that kept beating me was people with rapid strikes, and they would just like run up and shoot a cubic ton of darts at me.
Okay, but to be fair, were these rapid strikes in a box?
No.
Lucky
was
Charms.
it
I actually never got killed by Ryan's rapid strikes because I always nailed him with my long shot.
There you go.
At least I don't think so. He might have gotten me once, but I think it was with one of his other guns he was running.
Luckily, blaster hits count because Brian can also hide
man.
behind those things.
Yeah.
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 Just to reference, if you guys remember on Reddit the picture of the gentleman with the Lucky Charms box dressed as
Yeah.
Lucky the Leprechaun and had rapid strikes on the inside, that's who we're referring to.
That's our dude.
Yeah. So Ryan and I exchanged a bunch of fire. He got me a couple of times, but I don't think he ever got me with the rapid strikes.
Okay.
So my one downfall apparently is cubic tons of darts flying at me because I'm a pretty small guy, pretty agile. I can dodge 1 or 2 darts, but 48 not happening.
Down.
Yeah,
And
rapid
I
strikes.
feel you
Rapid
there.
strikes do that.
Yeah, and so that was like the one thing that consistently got me out. The guy with the jolt couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He was doing really good, but I'd let him run around and then I'd just wait and then
Oh, that's because only one of them was there.
so they both do that?
Yep.
They both do that.
They both do
They
that.
look
They both end
similar.
up on the same team. It's rough.
But the one that was there is more agile. The other one is faster.
Yeah.
Oh.
when they end up on the same team, they go into like this weird telekinetic brother thing where they know which
attack
other's
from
thinking.
both sides.
Their
Yeah,
secret
you
language.
get caught in a pincer movement.
And well, see, that's why I made the rough cut because I don't really have to care about accuracy because I can launch 6 darts at once, and I can slam fire all 24 in under 2 seconds. And if that doesn't take somebody out, they're not going out.
Yes.
Yeah, that thing is awesome.
Yeah.
I
It's
cannot
beautiful.
wait to run that at a game.
Now I'm just thinking if we can
Huh.
put 4 together.
I wonder how many connectors I'd have to use. Because the prime's a little tougher.
Oh.
I bet you if I do 4 connectors, I could underbarrel it without having to cut your handles.
Awesome.
Yeah,
You're-
that's gonna work.
See, you're thinking in the wrong direction because what I'm thinking now is you take 3 rough cuts and then you just put a stripe on top of each one of them.
Ooh, that has potential.
And then you have them in the similar way how you have the triggers wired. You could have them all wired to one trigger on top and one on bottom. Well, not
Yeah.
wired, but operationally working.
That is going
3
to be.
bop, bop, bop. Okay, bop, 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 bop. Oh my god, I'm just imagining this right now. You would have 3 shots coming out whenever
Put it
you
this
fired
way:
it.
my roommates who do not do Nerf, other than watching me mod stuff and just going like, "Oh gosh, he's doing it again," saw that and they were like, "Oh gosh, he's made something good this time." It's scary. My roommates get met at the door with darts from time to time.
Good for them.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
So I made that gun to fill a niche, and because I was like, 2 rough cuts is really just missing one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I found it works. The double one actually doesn't work as well as the triple one.
So what I'm hearing is 4 rough cuts together would, in theory, work even better than 3.
I'm actually not with you there, Sean. I'm thinking
I know
odd
what you're
numbers.
thinking, 5.
Yeah, odd numbers work better.
Yeah,
It's like
Because
the
you
fonts.
can always
Like
prime in the
13's an
Yeah.
unlucky number to jump for garbage cans, so you do 14 to break the record.
Well, then if we're gonna go 5, we might as well
Wow.
attach an arm
And
to it.
and with that reference, Nerfcast may have jumped the shark.
Yay!
so I don't think there's 5 rough cuts being put together because 3 is already pretty unwieldy.
yeah, we'll need a pneumatic arm and some
Every time B.F.U talks about modding, it involves a pneumatic arm somehow.
No,
he's
we
like,
need-
just make a pneumatic
No.
arm that does it. I'm
We'll
like,
need a pneumatic arm.
Just get cable to hold it.
No, some straight razors and some baby powder.
Okay.
Just get Nathan Summers. He can hold giant
No, see if we
guns.
had an arm and just pulled it back for us, we'd be good.
I can totally do it.
See,
No, screw that. I will man up and hold. If you make a 5,
The problem with that is I have to buy 5 rough cuts, and then the worst part of that modification, by far, for me at least, was cutting out the place where I have a piece of, I think it's 1/8 inch by about 1/2 inch by about 8 or 9 inches long piece of steel that links the triggers together. Because I tried a threaded rod, like a little 1/8 inch threaded rod, and it was just like whang.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
the middle rough cut would
That
fire,
sounded
and then
bad.
the other two were just like, we're not doing anything.
We're done.
And then you couldn't cock it because the pumps are linked.
Right.
And so it got to be this big, and so I put that in there, and now there's no flex in the trigger.
it's funny because B.F.U and I looked at each other while he said, first problem is you have to buy 5. I'm like, that's not a problem.
yeah, that's, we can go.
They're $10 on Amazon right now.
No, we can go in the backyard. There's probably
Yeah, we probably have enough rough cuts right now.
So-
for that.
5 in the game.
I think
So bad.
True.
I love making ridiculous mods, but I think 3 is probably going to be the limit for this one.
Fine.
So what about this?
Okay,
You flip the other rough cuts
upside down.
upside down and go 6.
That's going to be kind of tricky to link the triggers, but it's doable.
Okay.
What I'm learning from being in engineering school is you are literally only limited by your imagination and your resources.
You
How
are a
would you
sick little
time it?
man.
Same way.
Well,
But you make a
underneath-
cage.
Yeah,
You make a cage. It's a square around the
Yeah,
entire
no,
thing.
I
but
see
when you
what
pull
he's
the
doing.
You make
You
a
are-
chest cannon. You
you're
mount
a
it to your
sick
chest.
man.
because you guys are talking about 5.
What's wrong with you? Why would you flip them upside down?
Unibeam blast.
That makes way too much sense.
I know.
What's wrong with you? But then you can't underbarrel.
You
Or
are
you could-
underbarreling them to each other.
No, it's
You're underbarreling it to your chest. I'm telling
Chris,
you.
what you could do is you could just have 6 of them sideways with all the pumps on the outside, and then you could underbarrel it that way.
yeah, you could.
But that would the problem is weight, and it's just
Yeah.
really cumbersome because you have to prime it in the middle. And
All I'm hearing, when you
So
say
clearly
cumbersome, it means practice until you get good
So
at it.
I have an interesting mod I've been thinking about.
All right.
Since we're on the mod topic. So everyone does those triple. I know they're not. Whoever hates them being called turret Toramakdu, I'm so sorry. I know they're not turrets.
Is this your Reddit rant?
No, not yet.
Okay.
But I know my boy T Dog, who's been really positive lately on the Reddits and is a good contributor, hates it being called turrets. But I'm calling them turrets.
What are we
you can
talking
call
about?
The cylinders the cylinders.
where people take a Maverick,
Put
And
3
then they put
cylinders.
three
on
of
a
So you're talking
triangle.
about cylinders. Okay.
Cylinders.
Yeah, okay.
so they
continue.
take what
People
I
call
think
them
is
turrets.
a
A series
terrible
of
gun
tubes.
and make
Yes.
it kind of cool.
Right.
Yes.
So here's my thing though. Everybody spends so much time doing that still, right? Which is fine. I RTE for show.
Yes.
'cause that looks hard.
I completely respect the effort on that one, but I don't know why.
So why wouldn't you do that with a hammer shot?
Because the
Because-
hammer shot is perfect as it
No,
is.
no, no.
Because I think it's because the parts don't exist for it
Yeah,
online.
that, and I would say that the people that are doing this, it's $1, $2, maybe $3 for a Maverick at a
Yeah.
Goodwill. When you start seeing hammer shots at Goodwill, I feel like that because you have to get a whole extra.
So can it be
cylinder?
done?
Oh,
Yeah.
of course it can be done. Chris?
See, here's the thing: if you have enough time and money,
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
give
I
Mitchell
don't
the
have
resources to
time,
make it happen.
but I got the other half of the equation.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is if I give you 3 hammer shots,
I could probably come up with something.
You might have to make it 6. There might have to be some test hammer shots. in the
Yeah,
process.
exactly.
We'll see.
Done.
No, the triple rough cut turned out pretty good on the first try.
I say this thinking that you might have 6 hammer shots just right outside the door right
7.
now. Okay,
And I haven't gone to buy one.
there you
buy
go.
one, get
You
half
keep
off the
one,
target.
and then give the other 6 to Mitchell, and he'll make it.
That might actually happen.
We'll see.
Mitchell, can I ask you how long did it take you to make the triple rough cut?
Oh, shoot. All totaled, not counting, let's see. I had to go to the cabinet shop, and the spacers I made for it are made out of just a piece of wood that I borrowed. Not borrowed. I was like, hey, Dad, I need a piece of wood. And he's
Yeah.
like, here you go. Anyway,
Take from the nature, son.
yeah, something like that.
I am the king of the forest. Take from my bounty.
He doesn't actually sound like that, but okay. Anyway,
Do you smoke crack? Like right before the podcast? Do you just get high?
Oh yeah,
let's see.
that was a high five. Continue.
So sorry, dude.
That's okay. No, I'm loving this. This is great.
I have to deal with this like once every 2 weeks at
This
least.
is like a conversation at roundtable after Nerf.
Yes,
It was. That was awesome.
This is why we never get anything
Let's
done.
see. I don't know. In terms of time, I think the most time I spent on that was notching the shells out for the trigger piece, and then deciding what I was going to do for the pump. Other than that, I just get these wild ideas and then do things.
So let me put it this way: how long would it take to make you another one?
With 3 rough cuts and the right spacers and everything, I could probably get one out in about 6 or 7 hours if I had my Dremel.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I might be going online to
Make
get some
the
rough
investment.
cuts.
Yeah, I love my Dremel.
Oh,
Yeah.
I actually don't have a legitimate Dremel. I have this off-brand German one that actually has a chuck, so you can actually
okay.
exchange tools easily.
Dots and Dremels in.
Wait, I thought all Dremels you can exchange tools.
You can exchange them, but the Dremel has their own proprietary connector, so you can only use Dremel stuff. So I can
Correct.
just use anything.
Yeah, one superior Dremel better than the other.
Yeah,
Dremel
I mean
has.
German engineering at its
I
finest.
love my Dremel. Even though it's cordless, and Josh makes fun of me for it.
Wait, when have I made fun of you for having a
You
cordless
make fun of my
Dremel?
cordless Dremel because it runs out of battery sometimes.
That was my main gripe with electric
I have not
blasters,
made fun of
actually.
you for that because I said the reason I didn't buy one that was cordless because my dad bought a Dremel, or my mom bought a Dremel for my dad years and years and years and years ago, and he's had the problem of it dying.
Yeah, basically, you made fun of me for having a cordless
I
Dremel.
was not making fun of you. I was saying I feel your pain.
I actually want to take my Dremel battery this year and use it as a backup battery for some of my blasters.
Yeah, so Mitchell and I were having a side conversation while you guys were getting excited about Josh's parents giving gifts to each other. That's all I heard from that. I don't really care. Electric blasters.
So that's what I hear every time Shawn talks is wah 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 wah.
Okay, kids.
Yeah.
Electric blasters. He believes they're witchery.
I don't believe that. I just
No,
don't
it's
like
just
them.
more like in the middle of a battle, it does suck if it dies on you. That is one thing you can say about mechanical blasters. You are getting the same performance every time.
This is why you underbarrel.
Consistency.
This is why you underbarrel a manual with electric. So
Yes.
you never have that problem.
This is why you make your own sniper crazy thing.
Or you do that.
I feel like me and Kimball talked about this a long time ago when they first started doing flywheel stuff.
and we've
About
talked about it on the podcast before.
I don't want to talk about flywheels because I
Consistency.
was so happy with them and then I just switched.
I know you're heartbroken.
No, not really. You know what it is? I really don't like anything except the hammer shot.
That's how I felt when I busted out the Rapid Strike. I was so excited to use it, and then I'm like, oh, it keeps jamming on me. Well, only other blaster I have on me is my Alpha Trooper. Oh, this is really good. I forgot about this.
Yeah, which is weird. I want to like the Alpha Trooper as much as you guys because I feel like I'm being left out or kept out of the club, and I can't get it to work.
Dart push.
Try mine.
No, I can't. Not that I can't work the gun.
I know what you mean.
I just can't get it to be effective for me. You would think it'd be more effective for me than a couple pistols, but the two pistol thing just seems to work.
Look, B.F.U, you ever read Harry Potter?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. No.
No.
Wow.
There are a lot
My
of
wife
people-
has. We can call her in from the other room and you can talk
a lot
about
of people are
Harry
literate.
Potter
It's
all day.
okay. They have classes. But,
Wait,
with
Harry Potter's our literary standard?
Yes.
It should be.
I think it's one of the few books all Americans have read.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure more people have read that in America than have read the Constitution.
Well,
That says a lot of different things about a lot of different people.
Yes, it does.
I missed Harry Potter by a few years. Remember, I'm 7 years older than you guys.
Yeah.
which is funny because the only person
way more older than
it's
you.
funny you say that. The only person in my family
Yeah,
who's read
so
all the Harry
I got
Potter
you
books is
right.
my dad. Me and my brothers gave up almost close to the end.
Back on track.
All right, anyway.
With Harry Potter, there's this
Back on track to Harry Potter on Nerfcast.
Let me bring it back together
Nerf
now.
warts.
It's coming together.
All right. Okay.
In the beginning, when you become a wizard, you go and get your wand, and you go to a shop, and there's like 1,000 different wands on the wall. So you have to pick the one that's just right for you, and every wand's a little bit different. But once you get the one that feels right, that's when the magic happens. That's
Yeah.
where you become a wizard.
Except for
Harry.
when you break it and at the end of the books, you can just use other people's wands and it's okay and it's cool.
Can we
but
not
you
talk
know,
about that? 'Cause
you
that
brought
was-
up Harry Potter.
Well, I think
that was your analogy.
load of
I think
crap.
that sort of works because I can pick up other guns and use them, and they're not quite as effective because
That's right.
they're not mine.
If my Alpha Trooper breaks and you're holding an Alpha Trooper, I'll come over, punch you, and take it.
And it
be
will
like,
change
"Oh,
its
it works
allegiance to
fine
Shawn.
enough.
And
I can still attack people with it. It's okay.
it's still going to work, but it's not
Could.
Shawn's Alpha Trooper, so it's not going to be as good.
Yeah, it doesn't have the Phoenix Feather in it.
Yeah.
This is why.
But what if it's the special one that's part of the little circle triangle? See?
Last book was so stupid.
Hey,
I'm sorry. It was so dumb.
You decided on this analogy.
This is why next year.
I
It
decided
was
on
gonna
tearing
be-
it apart.
It was going to be 5 seconds and we're going to be done with it.
I wish we were doing this on YouTube like we're going to be next year with video.
Take
Take that wand.
That doesn't look like a hammer shot. That's not your wand.
It's Benny Ramos.
Benny Lava?
Mitt Romney.
You just summoned Mitt
that's a spell
Romney,
nobody
and,
Barack
wants.
it's,
Obama.
and it's terrifying, and he's in the room. Oh, dear.
Oh boy.
And now you've said that the NSA is going to pick us up.
For the world, I just brought in a wizard wand I picked up at this year's Ren Fair.
Yes.
and pointed it at Shawn
You
menacingly.
haven't read Harry Potter, but you're buying wands.
It's because I wanted the leather pouch that came with it from a pipe.
That is true. And the leather pouch that comes with it
Okay,
is
so
awesome.
you're less of a wizard in the Harry Potter sense, but more in the Gandalf sense.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand Gandalf. I read Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
I
you
read
made a Lord of the
Hobbit.
Rings analogy, we would have been solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, dude. I didn't really. Yeah.
Okay.
Far over
The rainbow.
No.
This is not a Skittles commercial.
Misty Mountains. We could have went Foam Mountains. We could have went so many ways with that. We did not have to go back to Technicolor.
Or Thunder Mountain.
Oh, boy.
Anyways,
Okay, so we still need a Reddit rant, guys.
I'm
we
getting
do.
there.
Okay,
All right.
do it. Go.
Get on this.
Full steam. Don't do that, guys. I look at the waveforms when people are doing stuff, and all I see is just. So I apologize to people in the audience if that jarred you a little bit.
Or if
Wake
you
them up for the Reddit rant. They fell asleep during the Harry Potter conversation.
Mitchell's gonna swerve now when he listens to this later.
Yeah, I was actually listening to the first time Chris yelled, "Buy a hammer shot," very loud.
I am shot.
Into the mic while I was driving, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. And then they were like, I wonder what would happen if somebody was driving. And I was just like, I could have been killed.
This podcast was made for me.
I relate to that.
I'm gonna fix your ears, Sean, because right now we're gonna take you to Reddit, baby.
Okay.
Hey, Reddit. It's your boy B.F.U. here, and usually all I do is assault you and assail you and really call your character into question. But this week, Reddit, in the spirit of RTE month, yes, folks, December is RTE month. Respect the effort, baby.
I feel like that should be every month.
Should be.
Same with Black History Month.
Reddit, I want to say thank you. In the last 14 days, you've become a positive place for Nerfers to go. And yeah, there's still haters out there. There's still people that want to take your shine. But you're getting better, Reddit. It's getting more positive. I want to point to the Maverick Turret post where even a little wisecrackery about my man Duke Wintermall went, they assaulted him for it. He was only kidding. But then people talked about how positive Reddit's got. And my man Ben, I think it's 827, could be 887, said he didn't want to post his mods online because of all the negativity. But even he admitted it's getting more positive, Reddit. So you're not pushing people away, you're drawing people in. Mm-hmm. You're becoming the center of the Nerf universe. And it's got to feel good for you, Reddit. It's got to feel good. So this week, Reddit, in the spirit of RTE month, I respect the effort that you're putting into putting a positive place on the internet for people to go. This is BFU with this week's Reddit rant. Posse out. Oh, this is going to come back to haunt me when I have kids. I know it is.
Oh,
All my kids are going to get beat up in school.
we're going to show them the podcast.
Yes.
I
I'm
will-
going to show it to them.
I will track them down.
There'll be video in 2014, folks. We're getting close.
Also, speaking of Reddit, one thing I just personally liked on Reddit this week was Duke Wintermall's post on one of the blasters he did. And the title of the thread was, "This isn't even my final form."
That was awesome.
And it was a bunch of different blaster parts
Yeah,
all
I saw
Frankenstein together. And I'm like, yes, this is the moment that a lot of Nerfers wait for when they buy all this random stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. I have all the accessories I need. Slap on 5 scopes onto something, 2 handles. The only thing it was missing, because it had the handle, it had the front grip, it had the bipod, it needed the Mega Centurion stand. It needed that as well.
That
on it.
bipod?
Yeah,
there's
that
also
is an
a
awesome bipod.
It is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And just put that in front of it because it was tilting off, and I'm like, well, the front grip is just hanging there. And I know it's practical to have the front grip at the front of the blaster when you attach a barrel and 50 scopes onto it.
No.
But no! Go big. Mega bipod. It would keep it balanced. It would look so natural on there.
I'm pretty sure somebody made a response post to that was called "Try Harder."
Yes.
That was another ridiculously tactical blaster that just had a bunch of things on it and
I feel like we should just go in the bin.
just
Yeah.
Just start putting everything together.
This is what we should do. Once a week, we should throw out a challenge to Reddit to say, show us this kind of blaster. Show us your favorite paint job. Show us your most Frankenstein blaster. Just start picking out something and say, hey, Reddit, we want to see this from you this week.
Reddit, show me a baller mod for the Heartbreaker series bows.
There you go.
That's
you
not
go.
either. Oh, there's 2 new bows coming out.
Yeah,
by
I
the
was
way,
about to
those were
say.
announced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Do you
know.
have
There's a
every color
purple
now?
one, the like dolphin one.
First of all of you can stop hating on me for my love of the Heartbreaker bow.
I'm just
Mitchell,
letting you know.
Okay,
That's
pause. The first thing we did when
Come
we opened the
on.
pack of suction darts, like, let me test this out. And
What does
of
he do?
all the blasters we have here, B.F.U, can you tell me which one you went and grabbed?
I may have grabbed my Elite painted,
Okay,
modded
good so far.
for accuracy and distance Heartbreaker bow.
Oh,
It's no longer called the Heartbreaker bow. Now it breaks your heart.
yes.
And
I thought
to
that
be
was the
fair-
fire
Heartbreaker.
shot.
It's a breaker of hearts.
To be fair, I have never hated on your Heartbreaker bow.
I know.
Ever.
It's just like the wild accusations out there. It's what keeps us getting one listener a month. So I would like to see some cool mods of the Heartbreaker. I'd like to see people put some barrel extensions on it, maybe put a better plunger tube in that thing. I think the shell is actually a pretty decent shell, which I've said before.
I quite like it.
I just the execution was very poor, Nerf. Very poor, Nerf. Poor.
yes.
Pox on your house, Nerf.
Although I do appreciate that they're coming out with a bunch of different colors. I think they took my advice and say, look at Zing with their bows. Look at all the different colors.
Oh, crap in a hat.
Yes.
I was reading an article. I don't remember where it was. So, and it's not. I'm a man too. It's not like that. Josh,
Isn't even
where it
gonna bring
doesn't
that
exist.
up. Nobody even knows.
The
besides
Nerf,
me.
the Nerf bows were the 5th best-selling girls' toy this year.
Oh, nice.
Girls' toy or toy?
Girls' toy.
Wow.
So in the girls' category, the Nerf bows actually broke the top 5.
Wow.
Link me to this.
That's pretty amazing.
I just read it like a week ago.
You don't have proof. That's just terrible. It's just horrible that you ain't got nothing to back up your claims with.
I'll run a SolidWorks simulation of it
I
next
wouldn't
week.
make.
and,
First of all, if I
we'll
made
have-
that up, I wouldn't make it up about the worst blaster in the entire series.
Yeah,
You didn't make it up about the Mega
here's the
Centurion.
thing. It wouldn't
They-
surprise me because
the article
Katniss
said-
and all that stuff is out.
It was
and-
because they said that's why they keep making bows.
But what I'm interested in is where this study took place. How? Oh, is this Nerf? Is this Hasbro? Is this everyone?
No,
Who took you to
overall.
read?
So overall,
dad.
overall,
She taught me to read.
He did. He told you to read Harry Potter.
No, my dad wasn't around. Oh.
I've met him.
That's my stepdad.
It's your dad. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it rounds up. I count that too.
I call my stepmom my mom. It's the same thing.
To be fair, he did not teach me how to read either.
Oh, why does everyone hate you?
I don't know. All my life.
I didn't know we were segregating. I didn't know we were segregating parents.
Yes.
Oh, well, my biological grandpa.
So I would be interested in seeing that article just to see if there was something in it that had to do with how they did the study, where it was in the U.S., in the world.
Or if they were offered like a kick in the butt versus the Heartbreaker bow.
Yeah, I'm just curious. It just seems like there's a lot of toys out, but I think you are correct that Nerf has done a good job pushing all of this, and there's not a lot of girls'
Pushing.
toys that just came out. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of girls' toys that just came out, but there's not like My Little Pony's already been out for like 4 seasons.
That's actually
we
selling
get it.
better with young men than girls, so...
Yep.
Josh knows this very well.
So what
Yes,
was
I
the
do.
reason the article stood out is because they specifically called out the Heartbreaker bow.
No, I
And
understand.
that's why I was
Well,
like, huh?
So,
Like that doesn't make any sense. That
so
this
one,
blaster-
I would argue that the holiday season is not over.
Mm-hmm.
2, I would also argue that in like multiple magazines and websites have cited 2 things as hot buys for this holiday. One is the Centurion, and the other is Tech Recon.
Yes. They were on live with Kelly and the other dude.
Regis?
No, Regis quit like a year ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't watch TV.
Mario Lowe. I don't know.
No, although that would have been good. Mario Lopez.
Other guy who is not Regis.
God,
Yeah.
what is his name? He was an athlete.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know.
But they've been on a lot of stuff as hot buys this season. I have no idea what it looks like, if they're going to be doing a good sale as compared to other toys.
Actually,
because they are new.
The Centurion, if you don't know the suckitude of it as a parent, for $40 is actually a pretty good buy.
Right,
is
that's
it
what I'm
down-
saying.
Plastic as you
Is it
get.
down to 40?
Everywhere?
Yeah.
And as much plastic as you get for $40,
That's
especially
a
if
lot
you're a
of-
Costco member and you get the extra clip.
And this is what I'm talking about with parents buying for children and what children want are vastly different than what we as a community want.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure the Centurion is going to sell pretty well this holiday season just
Right.
because...
It's cheaper than a video game.
Last year, the best-selling blaster was the Hellfire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Rapid Strike is probably going to outsell it because parents, as a parent, if I was buying a Nerf gun for my kid, and I'm not going to be the parent that I'm going to be, I'm going to pretend I'm a fairly ignorant parent. I'm going to look and I'm going to go, my kid already has a Nerf gun. It already shoots these darts.
Right.
I'm going to get him something that doesn't require me buying a
New
ton
stuff.
of new ammo.
That's assuming your parents know what darts it shoots. Some parents are just buying to buy.
Oh, yeah. I get that, but I feel like people are going to look at it and go, oh, it shoots this new mega ammo, which is better, but my kid already has 400 of these lying around all over.
Yeah. No, I agree. Parents are strange things.
Yeah.
Who knows? Sometimes they just buy stuff. I've seen parents buy games. They're like, their kids don't even have that system, but they just buy games for it because someone was like, "Oh, this is popular and new."
Yeah, I'm going to get my kid that.
I need the new Grand Theft Auto for little Timmy.
Yep.
Oh, so I did find a website. It's a different website. It doesn't list it in the top 5. It actually lists it in the top 10 still, though.
Okay.
That's weird.
Okay,
Of
what's the website?
the top 10 of what?
Top 10, 2013 best girls' toys. Top 10.
Wait. Best girls' toys or best selling girls'
says
toys?
Best girls' toys.
Okay, so again, Tech Recon and Centurion.
This could be someone just saying, I saw this on the
Yes.
market and it looks cool. Buy it for your
Ratings are
ladies."
given based on popular demand
Mm-hmm.
and holiday tickets from major toy merchants, not
Correct.
not distributors,
All right.
and consumer reviews. That's a pretty good list of 3 things.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised. I don't understand how it made it in the top damn 10.
Oh, I can't because it's different. Because all the other girls' toys are dolls.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that's
like,
different.
probably on that list.
Here's the thing.
Wait,
It's
so wait, here's the
specifically
list.
says the Heartbreaker.
Let's look at the
Josh,
list.
Can I make a prediction real quick?
Yes.
There's going to be My Little Pony dolls on there.
Okay.
There's going to be Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be the new Lego Girl stuff that they came out with recently.
Ooh, let's find out. So, let's see. The number 1 on this list that BFU just pulled up is the Furby Boom.
That is the scariest thing ever.
So we know that that's going to be a great seller this season amongst kids, I'm sure. And I'm not even trying to be like, it probably is going to do well.
I don't even know what the hell Furby is, but yes.
It's that thing. There's a picture of it here.
Stupid.
Yeah.
They came out a long time ago and they failed, and then
Right.
Well, that's because the government outlawed them because they were for
Uprisings.
espionage.
Witchery?
yeah.
Got it.
The number 2 is the Lego Friends Adventure Camper. So not the Lego Friends set, but specifically just the Adventure Camper.
That's what's weird. I thought they predict the specific toy.
Yeah. Barbie Dreamhouse.
That's probably a bestseller every year.
Yeah, I'm sure that's always on the
I probably
list
just
somewhere.
missed by the freaking Furby.
Let's see.
I think so.
The Disney Sophia the First Talking Sophia and Animal Friends.
Yay, South American princess, finally.
No,
No, that's what she's marketed as. It's a TV show on Disney. They never
I
come
know
out
what
with a
it
movie
is.
for her, but
Yeah.
No, I'm glad he educated me because I didn't know.
I know what it is.
we don't all know about little girl things, Josh. Just you and me.
She is a princess. She becomes a princess because her family is
all right,
married.
keep going.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry. I thought you wanted information.
No.
The Leap Pad Ultra.
Oh, that's very gender and.
I hate that thing. We had one of those on display in the Target where I was, and it's right next to the Nerf aisle. And every time I would walk past it, it would be like, ah! And I actually freaked out and turned around and punched it once.
So many years ago, when Leapfrog was new, and I worked at Toys R Us, I had to go through like a bunch of training seminars, and I was like the Leapfrog ambassador between Toys R Us.
Toys R Us does that crap?
Yep.
Why does it never feel like it?
I think they stopped caring.
Because they were like, cool, you can tell people about it, but go work in the boys section over there instead of the Leapfrog section. I was like, I have like this little badge, this whatever.
Wow.
All right, Sesame Street Big Hugs Elmo. For girls.
Yeah,
I don't know why that.
Way to
which
predict
is
that one, Shawn.
Which is wait. Here's the odd thing. The picture is Elmo hugging a little boy. So I don't know how that.
Sure, it's not a little girl with short hair.
Nope,
As
that
soon
is
as I heard
definitely
the Furby, I was thinking, oh, Elmo's probably on this list too. Then
the Crayola marker maker.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
It seems
That's like
interesting.
high science.
The
Monster
Cray
High.
Z Art Shimmer and Sparkle bracelet maker.
Oh, that's
number 8.
Complete sense. Actually, I kind of want one of those.
yeah, let's all.
Anything
buy
that
it.
makes anything that shimmers and sparkles, I'm kind of down.
The one that is
Pretty sure you just want a 3D printer that does
the other one that
I want glitter, plastic.
that doesn't really make sense, but is going to be on here is the Barbie Collector Holiday Doll 2013. And the reason I say it doesn't make sense is because those, I'm betting most of those are not going to be bought by 6-year-old girls.
Yeah, those are
Because
adults who are collecting.
those are adult collectibles, even though it's for ages 6 and older. And number 10 is the Nerf Rebel Heartbreaker Bow. Which is interesting. The other interesting, Nerf Rebel Heartbreaker Bow Phoenix design.
Yeah, like that's what tripped me out when I read
oddly
it.
specific.
I'm like, wow, that is really. And I read I read the same thing except it said the one list I said it was a top 5, but
Okay, yeah.
I'm
Okay,
sure
so
lists are
you
different
lied.
on each
Okay.
website.
Yeah.
Because
So-
that was number 10. So
Those are-
That was in the same website. I
Those
just
are
Google searched
apparently 10 best toys
But
for
here's
girls
what's-
during the
here's
Christmas
what's
holiday
weird.
season. Yes.
it's that specific.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they didn't want to confuse it with the Super Soaker Heartbreaker bow
I
style.
have a Super Soaker.
No,
Heartbreaker
but
bow.
why?
Yeah, it's
how
the
did,
Dolphin one.
I don't know.
Yes, it is. The
If
Dolphin
it said
one.
Nerf Rebel line, it'd be like, okay, that makes
Right.
sense. Like I could see the line being a top whatever girl.
I think they looked at the line and then looked at what would probably be the top seller in that line.
But why that one over the other one?
So for shoppers,
Because it's
each
the most common one.
each toy in the
Hunger
best
Games.
of list for the girls, online merchants are handpicked as recommended resources to buy online. Stores are picked based on low pricing as well as having strong reputations for safe, easy shopping.
so
Safe.
Walmart and Target.
So you can't do this on Black Friday, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Walmart
I
and
guess
Target.
I'm pretty sure that thing is they're predicting that that's going to sell really well. One,
Right.
because it's not an off-brand and people know Nerf. Nerf has been around for a long time. It's not like I
I think it's cool they broke into the top 10.
I mean, I would agree that if you look at the Rebel line, I feel like their flagship blaster is the Heartbreaker bow,
and with the Hunger Games coming out,
Correct.
every little girl wants to be Katniss.
and
And
that's why it comes in so many different colors
And
because
that's
it's
why
their
I'm
And
flagship.
that's what
Zing
the
didn't make
article I was
the
reading
list.
saying
Yeah.
is because of how they're getting good rankings on the hot toy list with the bow specifically. You're
Right.
going to expect 2014 to be another 3 or 4 colors.
Well, that wouldn't surprise
Either
me
that
at all.
or a new version of it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they're already doing the Super Soaker one, so
Yeah, so
the Dolphin.
I'm really kind of bummed out that Zing didn't make that list for girls' toys. But I guess I'm really the only Zing fanatic out there.
Well, that's
Yeah.
I believe because as they have said, you have like hundreds of the arrows.
yeah, if you got the hookup, dude.
I also feel like the safety might be in question a little bit, even
Yes,
though we know that it's safe and we've tested it.
doesn't-
We've never
Nerf
tested it
doesn't
on
look
a
that safe.
5-year-old
Right. Well, it's definitely not made for a 5-year-old.
or an
First off,
8-year-old.
but I think that it's just the whole.
It does-
Nerf is a solid brand name. It is well known. The safety's there. Again, they did say that they're safe, easy.
And it looks like a bow. So
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
that's
Nah.
I think that's pretty much their whole marketing strategy right there.
Oh yeah.
I
No, I-
really
I
just thought
agree.
about pulling her into the conversation just to do something different.
Uh,
And I will not buy every bow like Shawn has bought every because I don't have the hookup.
And then I start painting them. So here's the thing. Before I got that deal, I went out and bought 4 Zing bows.
I know you love slingshots.
He did.
I got
You did
different
love
colors.
them.
I even painted one of them to be Hawkeye colors. I love
Nice.
that one. That's my baby.
Does that work pretty well running that at a game?
Here's the thing I will say. It's definitely a more skill-based blaster, so you have to actually practice with it. It's not like other blasters where it's point and click and you're good.
yeah.
So with this, if my first time running it, I didn't practice at all, so I was like shooting them and like, oh, it went 5 feet.
Nerf.
Or I was shooting them, they're going way off or too far.
I feel like we should take Kimball's bow, string some surgical tube to it, and make our own full size Zing bow.
What
surgical
would
too.
what would be the difference between the way his bow is now?
Well, for his Zing ammo, I don't know. It just seems like
We could
the Zing-
totally
I don't like.
Oh,
how
you
small-
mean make a full size Zing bow?
Yep, that's
Why
what I
don't you
said.
just take a real bow, which is what Kimball has, and string it?
Also,
That's what I
the,
just said.
the
Take
increased
Kimball's bow.
tension.
why take Kimball's that he worked so hard to make shoot regular darts?
because he stopped running it and he's over it.
No, he still likes it.
He's already ruined one bow, so we might as well just finish off.
I've got a bow laying
No,
around. We
here's
can
my
do that
problem
with.
with that design though, because if you actually look at the Zing bow arrows, it's foam that the hooks are made out of. So I can see if you have higher tension, you're pulling back, just ripping the arrows.
Yeah.
Just
We're gonna have to
demolishing
make
them.
a thing. There's
So
gonna be a
BFU's
thing.
thinking, how do we reinforce that part?
No, I'm thinking that you run 2 tubes down from the back side of the bow just to cut off the surgical tube to make it a shorter draw. Sorry, to make it a shorter draw. And then this way you solve that problem. My problem with the Zing bow is it's too small for me. Every time I shoot it, it just doesn't like
Right.
So
It
they
hits
might-
hits my palm, and I have actually shot a real bow and made it not hit my forearm and hit my forearm.
That makes all the difference right there.
Yeah, because I learned the first 10 times when it smacked my forearm, hey, stupid, stop doing this.
Yeah.
But I can't make it not do it with the Zing for some reason.
So just to help you out a little bit, I'm not sure if they made a bigger size, but there's 2 sizes for Zing bows, the small and the large. And I
Yes.
don't know if the large is larger than the regular just one size fits all bow.
There are 2 sizes of Zing bows now.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that takes... Oh, there goes the steam out of that argument.
Yeah, I guess I'm the resident Zing bow expert. So
Oh, you got a thing.
yeah,
I knew
they
that.
you know how actually
Buy a Zing bow.
how Chris designed the Zing bow and took the little like latches
Yep.
that are supposed to hook onto your waist and put them onto the bow. They integrated
have
that
that now.
into the new designs.
Oh, awesome.
So now you can hook them directly onto the bow, and I'm like, that's really smart and simple. I'm happy they actually did that. It's a small improvement, but it's very welcome.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but that said, I think we've pretty much covered all the news and all the information we need to cover on this one.
Yeah, I think really quick, wanted to give a couple of shout-outs. First off to everybody and anybody who's been emailing us or asking about getting on the podcast. I know we haven't gotten back to you. It's because I don't want to email you and say yes or no when we realistically can't have anybody on right now until we figure out our call-in system. Because I know we had one that worked, and now we have new equipment and it doesn't work. So
Unless you want to travel to Palo Alto, California.
yeah, it's not that we are just being incredibly rude and being like, let's not even just respond to those people. So you can hear it now. The reason we haven't responded is just because we don't know when everything's going to be up. Like Tactical Blasters, I know you emailed us. You were talking about some 3D printing stuff. We would love to actually ask you questions and have you on the podcast. I don't want to just email you and get them randomly back. It'd be way cooler to have you on. But again, we just need to figure that out.
Yeah, it's something I need to mess around with the mixing board we have now. We've mentioned this before. We tried recording an episode, and the whole episode ended up getting scrapped because there's a weird audio issue that didn't appear on the test runs when I was testing it out. But and it kind of sucks for us because we ended up without a podcast that week. So
Yeah.
Coming in 2014, folks.
Yeah. So, and it's more than just Tactical Blasters. I just wanted to name drop him because he sent us a couple messages now, and there have been other people who have asked about it, and that's what's up with that. The other one is Southern Brisbane Nerf Club. Man, hats off right now. Moment of silence. These guys, well, this guy, Southern Brisbane Nerf Club is closing his doors, so to speak. No more Facebook, YouTube, blog.
Sad.
Yeah, it is really sad.
yeah, it kind of echoes what happened recently with Pocket Urban Taggers.
Urban Taggers. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of weird that 2 Australian Nerf blogs would be shut down in.
Yeah, I think it's coincidence.
No, I think it's conspiracy.
So, are you going to say what I'm going to say? I'll let you go first. Go to your conspiracy.
Kangaroos.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so this
Don't
wasn't...
like Nerf.
So, what I was going to say is...
Unbelievably offensive.
It's funny because... So, Southern Brisbane Nerf Club has actually been around for a while. But I felt like his blog really started taking off lately.
Yeah.
And it was funny that My Last Dart came back, and then Southern Brisbane Nerf was like, "Oh, I have to leave. There's just stuff in my personal life. Sorry, guys, I gotta go." And I was
My
like,
planet needs me.
So
"Is
My
he the
Last Dart
same
came
person?"
back?
So My Last Dart, is also. I guess that's another good shout out we should throw on here. Is announced that he was going to be coming back and doing
sweet.
stuff.
Whoop-de-whoop.
He just put on his Facebook page. It was like he announced that, and like a day or two later, Southern Brisbane Nerf said that they had to leave, and I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen him in the same place at the same time.
I'm not saying I'm Batman. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying I'm Bruce Wayne and Batman.
But yeah, for reals, like, we wish you well on everything you guys do. Hopefully,
Yeah,
if you ever want to come back, I'm sure that the Nerf community will welcome you with open arms.
And we'd be happy to have your announcement back on the podcast.
Yeah, it really sucks because both of these guys, we were talking about trying to get contacting them, getting them on the podcast, and then before we were able to get either one of them on, both gone. So
I mean, here's the thing that I'll just put out there for if you guys are listening to this podcast still. If you guys aren't blogging actively about Nerf, but you still love it and still love talking about it, there's no reason. Just reach out. We love talking shop with people. It's very entertaining for us. So once I get the Skype thing figured out, we would still love to have you on the show.
They let me on here. You can too.
They keep letting me out here, so the desperation is deep with these two. It's just they just reek of it.
Josh and Shawn got me $5,000 for my settlement, and you can too.
Just remember, even though you might have given away 39 blasters to Goodwill, doesn't mean you can't buy new ones.
And here's the thing, Josh, recently you donated some blasters to Goodwill, right?
Yeah, so I just dropped almost 50 blasters at a Goodwill. It was just funny because Basic Nerf had reported Urban Taggers had on Facebook said that he dropped off 30-something, 39, 38 blasters at a Goodwill. And he was saying, oh, he's definitely out of the sport if you're dropping that many blasters off. Because he said, this is my good charity for this year. And I was like, that's cool. I just dropped off 50, and that was just to make room.
Yeah.
That was because we needed more space for more of the new stuff.
And I mean,
this isn't even my true armory.
Mitchel can corroborate this story because he saw the giant thing of Nerf blasters that we just busted out. Let's throw some more Alpha Troopers in here.
Josh, you
guys.
take pictures of that, by the way?
I have not yet.
Take pictures of everything you donated.
Oh, no.
You should have taken a massive picture. Look, this is what we're getting rid of.
So it just looks like a wall of yellow. in my tiny little hatchback. You can't tell there's a lot of blasters. It just looks like there's a lot of stuff in the car. But yeah, so, even if you are getting out of it and you donate all your blasters, even though I firmly believe that might not be all of your blasters. No. That doesn't mean you can't come back to Nerf later in life.
Yeah.
A single hammer shot doesn't take up much space.
Exactly.
Even if it's great triggered.
Well, and I think the thing is, everything we got rid of was all end strike. Everything I got rid of was just end strike stuff.
I hope you didn't throw out any long shots, because...
Oh, no. Those I kept.
Yeah.
Long shots I kept, but it was all the Raiders.
Yeah, I still have a Raider.
Yeah. I mean, I kept all the accessories, but the Raider itself, I'm just like, it's gone. I'm never going to use it. I'm not going to mod it. It was a lot of old, just yellow blasters.
So if you're listening here in the Bay Area, that means the hunt is on.
Yeah, if you want old blasters, I donated them to Savers, specifically the Savers on Almaden in San Jose, on Almaden Expressway.
They're about to get just...
Craigslist is about to blow.
Yeah, so, some of them, I donated some of them to Savers that still had Savers tags on them that I bought from Savers.
Nice. I pretty much guarantee you're going to get a bunch of posts on Reddit like tomorrow, like, hey guys, I went to a thrift store and I found, and Josh is going to just be sitting here like, that's my stuff.
Propagate. Go forth.
Yes.
There's your call out, Reddit. Challenge, game on.
Go find a Josh used blaster secondhand. You should have autographed them all, Josh. Make them a collector's item.
In one of the blasters we donated, we have a golden ticket.
No.
A golden
This is
ticket.
the idea I wanted to do before I
Sean,
realized.
I was just going to run with it.
You totally
We'd
messed
have
that up.
people-
We
I'm
were
not
going to
doing that
run
to
with
people because someone out there who really loves our show is going to go out and buy 50 blasters to get the
If
golden
they
ticket.
show me the receipt, I would have sent them something.
Here's the thing. You don't know that I still won't do that.
You're just going to go inside, crack one open, and shove a golden ticket in it.
Yeah, I could. I'm there like every day. And if not, I'll donate another blaster.
They're there every day looking for more.
I don't know. So I donated them. I walked around the corner and looked for more Nerf blasters. I have a problem, guys. I need an intervention. I was like, what am I going to find? I just donated all of the Nerf stuff.
You're going to go in there and you're going to find your stuff. And I will be willing to bet that at some point you find yourself buying one of your old guns.
Oh, probably.
If it's branded with JP.
Actually, two things. One, I'm already pretty sure that happened because I donated something and then I came back and I was like, I shouldn't have donated that. Came back like a week or two later and found it was a front gun to a long shot that I had donated. And I was like, oh, perfect. I found one. This actually might be mine. Two, I walked up, donated all the blasters. The dude looked at me like I was crazy. Like, what? Why? How?
Nerf apocalypse.
He was like, oh, the war's over, huh? I'm like, no, the war's just begun.
Look,
I hope
right
you
here
said
is
it like
America.
I did.
This is America giving stuff to South America to use, so that we can go to war with them afterwards.
But I walked into a
The
Savers.
listener in South America, we just lost them.
The listener.
The one.
We could have two.
I still found Nerf blasters there. That's what I was getting at. I walked up and I saw a Night Finder. I was like, oh, a Night Finder. And then I
then
picked
you
it
were
up.
just like,
I
what?
almost bought it. And then I was like, wait, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Oh, you got a problem. And I want to say for the record, it's all Josh's problem. None of those blasters were mine.
What?
Mister, here's
yeah.
$300. Go buy all the Nerf I need.
But he still has all his.
Yep.
He does the smart thing. He bought Elite blasters, so he's been able to like sell them at games. Old
if
extra
they-
stuff. I'm like,
if
nope.
they ever go one up on Elite, Goodwill's coming up.
Yep.
Good, because I'm looking at my Elite Retaliators like, I don't need you.
Ooh.
And that's going to be
Oh.
wow, we have a timer on the podcast now. Fantastic.
All right.
No. B.F.U, your final thoughts.
Oh man, it's been a great off season so far. Looking forward to doing some more things with you guys this off season. Looking forward to being on another podcast, hopefully someday. Probably next time.
Next time.
Mitchell, that was magic, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty magical. Your mods are awesome.
Thank you.
You'll be getting money from me soon, rat bastard.
And you can make money for college just
And,
off of B.F.U and me. Like, make this design.
Can I do the thing this time?
Well,
Rate, comment, subscribe.
Oh.
He
Feedback,
actually hit
questions.
that up earlier, but
I know.
sure.
That's fine.
Same Michelle. That's it.
Okay, cool. Josh, did you pretty much, was that all your final thoughts?
Yeah, I think there's nothing else that needs to be said from me.
So Reddit, reminder, Heartbreaker bows. We want to see what you can do with them. Post something on there. I just want to see it. We'll talk about it on the next podcast and give you some props if it really impresses us. which pretty much if at least one person does it, I'll be impressed by it.
Yep.
So that is the good news for you.
Except BFU, you don't get to repost the ones you've already done and be like, let's talk about this on the podcast, guys.
Whatevs.
You're going to confuse the listeners.
What about my bio bow?
Oh gosh, I don't think that the internet can handle the amount
Reddit
of
isn't
hate.
ready.
The internet goes down. It's my fault. 376 downvotes, 2 upvotes. And there's
One of them's
people
from me.
there's 4 people at this table, so that's messed up. I downvoted my own stuff.
Don't worry about it.
I will upvote that if you put it up there.
That's the 2 I was counting
He's
on.
going to downvote himself with his other account.
Okay, so Mitchell, thank you for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
We'd love to have you on again too. So anytime
Sure.
you feel like driving 15 hours to get here,
You
It's
know-
only like an hour and a half.
Well, hopefully
then
in the
you're just-
future we can, again, fix our call-in capabilities.
If you guys do Skype and you want me to be a regular on here for like a little Ask Science section, I'm not claiming to know everything about science, so nobody say that I claim to know everything
it's okay.
about
That's
science.
why I'm here.
Because I claim you do.
Well, thank you, Chris. But if you guys want to have me on as a regular, as long as I have time, I'm totally down for that.
B.F.U, this is like that episode where they don't want to break the Prime Directive and they're studying a planet, but someone's dying, so they beam him up to the ship and save him. Like, you're a god. I'm like, no, I just know science. I'm like, no, it's God. All hail the Picard.
So every 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
Did we break the Prime Directive? I don't know. Yeah, let's do it. So B.F.U, once again, always a pleasure to have you on the show. You're awesome. Josh, you're always here. I've tried getting rid of you.
Nope.
You just won't leave.
Yep, like a barnacle.
Yep, like a barnacle. And I'm the whale. So from everyone here at Nerfcast, this is Shawn.
This is Josh.
BF Yeezy.
Mitchell.
Happy tagging!